I really don't know why, but that intro seemed really long then. Don't know, it just seemed longer than normal. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to waste loads of time rabbiting on nonsense. I'm just going to start getting people in. But before I do, I've got to show you guys this.
No, I will not! Shut up!
That should give you a clue who my first guest is. And yes, that's right, it's Paul Retro, mate.
Oh my good God. That's what you've been busy doing all day.
I did that yesterday, actually, to be fair.
Very productive, mate. Very productive. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, you?
Yeah, not bad. Doing a lot of repetitive work at the minute, like, so yeah, it's nice to get in the shed and talk a bit of micros. Looking forward to this, mate.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one, this one, like when you see the topics. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get our next guest in. And that is Paul. I'm going to call him OSG because otherwise it gets too confusing with two Pauls.
All right.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Good. Back in the shed for the first time in a year.
Really?
Since the last time, I think it was the last time I was on here.
Does that mean we're both in the shed? We're both called Paul. We're both bald. And we're both from Sunderland.
Yeah.
And we both love the Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Separated at birth.
It's absolutely easier to call him OSG all the way through the stream, really, because otherwise it's just going to get way too confusing. So, right, let's get our last guest in. I'm sure you all know her. She's an Amstrad nut, and that is 8-bit Rach. How you doing, Rach? Yes, we can hear you.
I'm all right, thank you. You okay?
Not bad. I was worried that because last time everything was working, and then the minute we went live, it all went to shit, didn't it? That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought,
God.
you wait,
I know.
Work. Yeah.
Hard.
But we're there.
Still early yet. Things could still happen.
Well, as long as it's working right now, that's fine. I remember last time, I think it took us about 10, 15 minutes, didn't it, to get it all sorted? I think last time you had to end up using your phone.
Yeah, the thing is, I always try it the night before, and it works.
It does that. I've had it myself. Like, for some reason, it'll work perfectly fine outside of the stream. And then the minute you get on it, then everything just drops out and nothing works. I suppose maybe it's, once you got everybody in, maybe it's more demanding or something. I don't know.
Maybe. No might be that, yeah.
My whole setup knacks up. I come out this afternoon, I set it all up, and then I've come in, and it's like when Paul said, I'm backstage now, that was about 1:30, and then I've been messing about for about 15 minutes trying to get things like working again for some reason. I don't know. Yeah,
I've had it so many times. I mean, Paul will tell you. I've had it where I'm just about to start the stream and my laptop then decides I'm going to do an update, and everything just goes to shit. Like, it happens all the time. But I'm rectifying this problem soon, actually. Like, I'm working on something. This thing will be going soon. Right.
I just want a computer in here, what just stays in here all the time. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to get.
Get yourself a Mac like what I've got made. I love mine. It's meant for watching YouTube on as well, and they're like £100.
Yeah.
Just get an iMac. Honestly, I think they're really decent. I love mine.
Well, I mean, one of the recent things I've got, as you know, Paul, is I've got my desk now in the front room. It's all set up, so I can now just bung my laptop on and stream straight from here. All my mic, everything's all here ready. So I don't have to run around for half an hour before a stream getting everything ready. So much better. Right, let's have a look at the chat. We have got Alex Ustar Gamer. How you doing, mate? Alex, how's the Commodore 64 going? Because I haven't spoke to you in a while about that. You got that from you, didn't you, Paul?
Yeah, is it still working? That's the first thing you need.
That was my next question.
Yeah, beat you to it.
Sega Zombie Scott, he's here. Raven Cat, my old mate. How you doing, mate? How you doing? Hi, Lee. Hi, everyone. Hope you're okay. Alexander Scott. And then we got Pixel Plug. Pixel Plug's here. I think that's it so far. Yeah. I tell you what, I totally forgot until about an hour and a half before the stream that I hadn't put it on any social media.
I shared it this morning on my channel, and I shared it this afternoon. When I finished work on Facebook, like.
Yeah, about an hour and a half ago it was. I stuck it around everywhere, but It's a possibility people haven't seen it. That sounds proper dodgy, doesn't it?
Tell OSG's allowed to smile a bit. Oh, Juff's there.
There you go, he's smiling. There you go. So what's everyone drinking tonight? Because I'm on the alcohol-free stuff because obviously I can't drink while I'm on these blood thinners. So I wanted to have the illusion of drinking. So
I'm on the Lidl's copy of Beer Moretti.
I've got a bit of a mixture.
Nice.
Well, what you got, Paul? You got any wine?
Yeah, for me, unfortunately, it's just a pint of orange.
A pint of orange. And what's
I've
Rach
got a lot to do tomorrow, and I've got every morning I'm driving for like 40-50 minutes to get to where I work. Normally I work 3 minutes away, so yeah, I can't be arsed driving with a hangover or anything. So it's good night.
Fair enough. What you got, Rach? What are you drinking?
Oh, I've got 3 beers for $5.50 from Tesco's. San Miguel, Peroni, and
went for the real stuff
Star
as well.
Pramen, however you say it.
What's that?
I'm working tomorrow, but I just don't care. How do you say it? Star Pramen.
If it wasn't for the driving, I definitely would. But I
have no idea how you say that. I've got to be honest.
Is it Staraponen?
I always call it Star Pramen, but I don't know if I'm saying it right.
No, I call it Stromboli. When I get that of Pinocchio.
Oh, yeah.
Blood Master. That's what I call that. So it's nice, though. Is it from Prague?
It is, yeah.
The bonus with that is that when you say the name and you're drunk, it probably sounds exactly the same as when you say it when you're sober.
Well, yeah. I remember being out once and there was this beer called Shedhead. And this fella was like, what's it called? Oh, it's nice, that. And I was like, oh, Shedhead. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'll have one of them shitheads. And I was like, it's not called shithead, it's called Shedhead. The barmaid was like, what?
Whoa. See what's happened? I told you.
Is that your tape gone?
Yeah. Should never ever have took that off earlier. It's getting put on now, wait on.
That's the power of Shedhead, you only have to mention it.
Yeah. It's because he's in the shed, it's like, what? What?
If that falls off again, that's it. Stream over. No more tape.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. Very professional here.
Well, it was nice where it was before, and it was. I've left half a tape on there. That's why. I like to say, falls off again. That's it.
Right. Shall we get into? Man, this is really slow to do anything. I keep clicking things, and then half hour later it does it. Right. Shall we get into our topics? Right, what one shall we go with first?
See, I can't concentrate now. I'm getting tilted. I'm not smiling. My camera's falling off. It's like the worst stream ever.
He's going to end up holding the phone
me a little bit.
Yeah. If it falls off again, just hold it. Right, Paul, let's go with your topic first, I think. And
what was it again?
Colour Clash on Spectrum Games, because you mentioned this last month, I think, but we didn't get time to get to it.
Yeah, and I think I thought of this question or this topic like well before that as well. So I'm like, so what I think I was referring to is the more I've played the Spectrum, the less bothered about the colour clash like I've become. It's almost like I don't really see it anymore. Like before, when I was like a Commodore 64 user only, like I used to look at Spetty games, see the color clash. Now immediately, I'm just like, no, like I'm sorry, I can't deal with that. Whereas now, I think because I play more Spectrum than what I have done, I don't notice it as much. So yeah, I just want to hear other people's thoughts on it, really. And have you getting to that stage yet? And I'm betting it's a no from Paul, but I'm looking forward to hearing what he's got.
Is it on new games?
Not as much, but it does happen, yeah.
Like so, I mean, new games, it doesn't bother us at all because like there's not much of it happening on there, but on the old games, it like pisses off. Like if you look at what's that one way you want? No, Final Fight, yeah. Terrible game, but you can't even. I mean, the sprites are massive. They look all right, but then you can't even see them because they're just the background. You can't see now. It's crap. And I hate the hit detection box. What you sometimes get on there. know, the hit detection box, what you see around where they haven't
Yeah.
colored it in properly. I hate that.
Oh, really? I've never seen that.
You
Is
will
that
have,
just
man.
on Final Fight or just all Specky games?
No, on I think Double Dragon's got that on. I'm sure it does. It's
To
really
be
bad.
honest, I avoid Double Dragon on everything. I think just
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, unless it's the arcade version, it's not worth
Well,
playing.
yeah,
on
but
anything.
even that I don't think is aged particularly well. Like
I prefer the first one over the second one. I don't like the fact with the second one, depending on which way you face, the buttons do different things. I hate that. Yeah, I hate Double Dragon 2. But Double Dragon 1 on the arcade is the only way to play it. Anything else, no way. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Colour Clash. Rach, what do you think?
I've not got a lot of experience with the Spectrum, to be honest, but I know on some games I have seen it was quite bad, but I think a lot of the later Homebrew games, they've got a lot better with it. And be honest with you, if I'd have had the Spectrum as a kid, I honestly don't think it'd have bothered me.
you wouldn't have known any different, would you?
That's it. Like people say about the Amstrad, oh, the scrolling's awful, or it's a Spectrum part. 4-year-old me wouldn't have thought that. I'd have thought this is bloody brilliant. Do you know what I mean? So
I mean,
it just so happens that my favourite colour is brown anyway, so I was double winner. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw my video I did the other day on Kronos. Now that's an old game, but they done that in a good way because level 1 is yellow, level 2
that's
is
right.
blue. So that's how they got around it. They did one colour for each level.
I think it's like that on what's that other Spectrum game? Is it Xenoblast? No, Redshift. I think they did that on Redshift as well. They changed the colours with the levels. I think that's brilliant.
Right. And Xenoblast has done it, I think, as well. I think you are right. It's white on the first level, yellow maybe on the second. So that's how you get round it. If you don't
do it
put
like,
all the...
like Nothing as well. Do you know Nothing, the game? They got rounded by just like having a black background, didn't it? With like character on that's class and all that game, Nothing.
I haven't actually played that. I do want to play that.
I haven't. I played that other one on the spec you went about. Was it Circle, Triangle, Square? Was that that's pretty nuts. That game, like, very addictive.
Is it what it sounds like? Is it a puzzle game or?
Yeah, you can change into different things, but you've got to be certain. Like one can bounce, or one like they've all got different properties, and you've got to pick which one at that particular time to to get past the bit you need to get past. I think that's how it was anyway. Yeah, it's a long time since I've played it now, probably a year. But that's a good game.
Interesting.
Anyway, on a tangent.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like you, Paul. I think back in the day, in fact, I know back in the day, a friend of mine had a 48K, and I remember seeing the Colour Clash on that, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" Like, you know, it just looked inferior to the C64. But like you say, as you get older, you look back and it's like, actually, that ain't that bad. Like, you know, and the thing is, it's the playability more than anything with the Spectrum, really, isn't it?
Exactly. And some of the games, like I think, because they maybe do that, sometimes seem to run a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
You know, especially like vector games. Like I don't know, they just seem to run quite smooth on the Specky.
Driving games certainly do compared to the C64.
Yeah, we weren't. I mean, Paul, OSG, like, were we blessed? Like, how many decent racing games do you think there is on the come? There's probably at least 10 decent ones.
Yeah, some decent ones. I mean, Stunt Car Racers probably is the best of them. And you've got like Turbocharged by System 3. That was good. Road Blasters a bit. That was quite good. I like Outrun. I like Outrun, the American ones, mint.
That's where he got more time to program it, didn't he? Was it Clive Townsend?
No, it was Martin Webb.
Right, okay.
What a geek I am.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that one wrong.
If only I knew this stuff when we were doing that quiz on what you used to do.
The old quiz. Hopefully there'll be one soon.
See, I think Alex is hitting the nail on the head here. I think it gives the Spectrum its own identity. You know, and then you've got Scott here's comment, Colour Clash is part of the charm. Color clash makes the spectrum.
I think if it was a proper computer when you went to your mates, right? Instead of turning up and seeing that, then you might have given it a little bit more respect back then, you know. But like we were like, what?
Do you know what I thought? The very first time I saw one of them, I thought it was a calculator.
Really?
I thought it was a joke.
Because when you look at it, the buttons look like a calculator.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to have programmed on that. I think a lot of games are programmed on the Amstrad, weren't they? And then converted to the Speccy or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what they started doing in the end.
Yeah.
They changed it to a proper one, though, didn't they? They changed it to a proper...
Aye, but that's after it becoming Amstrad anyway.
No, we changed it to this. So this is a 48K one, you know.
Oh, yes. I've got... Do you know what? I've actually changed it as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's just Brock probably off that bench.
So somebody did say at one point that they did use to program on them because that was how you ended up with so many specky ports on the Amstrad.
It's just... But anyway, this is what it is. Oh, shit.
I know that... what was that? Who just dropped it?
That was just a Spectrum falling. I'm not worried about that.
I love how you didn't even flinch. Just like...
It's not a Commodore, so you don't get yeah, I remember Jim Bagley when he was telling us he used to code on the actual 48K keyboard, didn't he?
Yeah.
He told us that on one of the streams, and I was like, "You're kidding." But to him, he didn't know any
I don't know how anyone used that keyboard.
Nah. But he said
that's a good question because I personally, for me, it's this. I just think this is the best looking micro ever.
Oh, that's. Oh, hang on. We've got to put you on full screen for that. There we go. That is nice. I do like that. Yes.
I just think that's awesome. I love the colouring and everything.
You haven't even done a video on that yet, have you?
No, I'm not. I haven't. Well, I'm actually doing a pickups video, but it's taken so long to just get like 20 minutes. Like, just like be in the shed without anyone doing like mowing their lawn. Jesus, what's wrong? Mowing the lawn and seagulls attacking the shed and stuff, you know. So, but yeah, as Scott's just put there, I actually need to build a PSU for this. So I've
because you can't get them, can you?
Nah, I've got one of the parts I need. One of the transformers because it's got an AC and a DC supply from the plug, and the plug on the back that actually fits in is a bit of a nightmare to find. But it just so happens that Hewlett Packard printers in America use the same plug. So I managed to get one of them for like £2. So I was
nice.
About that. Yeah, so it's come together. It's going to take a while, but once I get all the parts, I'm going to do a video of making the PSU so that other people can learn how to make a PSU, because I think I see loads of these for sale without PSUs, and I think if people can see how to build them, and you can't buy them, then might encourage more people to use it. And I think Paul will agree with us here when I say the MSX2 is just on another level. It really is. Not only does it look good, it plays amazing.
It's a bit like Knight Rider, doesn't it? A bit Knight Rider-ish.
Another system I like that's quite nice to look at is the Auric as well. You know, the one Si's got. Yeah, is it the Atmos? I think it's the Atmos. The black and yeah, black and pinky sort of red one. Really nice.
Because hasn't he got the other one which was grey, like with the dodgy buttons or something?
Oh, the one that had like the little tic tac buttons. That was the Auric one, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Because he was at Blackpool when he picked it up.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, I do like the Atmos, but I also like the MSX. I mean, that's a nice system. If I remember right, didn't that have something like wrong with it, like damage or something that you had to repair?
On which one? On the MSX. Yeah. The keyboard was concave.
That's right. It was dented, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I opened it up, and it's got like a metal board on the back of the actual keyboard. So I had to take it apart, take all the keys off, so I cleaned it all while I was there, and then get the metal thing on the back, and I literally hammered it straight, and then put it all back together, and it worked no bother.
Is it an MSX too?
Yeah.
or mint them and all. The games on them is class.
That's what I'm saying. Like, not only is it good looking, but like it
I think it's
plays
probably
amazing.
I think it's probably the best 8-bit. It's like some of the games on there are like proper arcade quality, like Space Mambo. It's like playing an arcade game. It's just shoot 'em up. It's mint.
The games are mentally expensive, but there is an SD card solution for it because it's got a cartridge slot on the top.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because it's the cartridge games that are so expensive, isn't it?
Yeah. I've actually got an MSX game.
Did they actually release games on tape for it as well then, or was it just cartridge? They did.
Yeah. Because I've got 2 hit squads at MSX.
No, really?
Yeah, Batman and Arkanoid. I'm pretty sure that's the 2 that were released on MSX. Because I've got them, the Commodore 16 ones, like all of them really.
See, I didn't think enough people really had them over here for them to release hit squads. I'm surprised at that.
Same.
Wow.
I'm
surprised. That's interesting. You learn something new every day, don't you?
So the only 2 games I've got at the minute are tape games. Yeah. The cartridges are mental expensive.
Oh, hello. What's this? Saw loads of MSX games at LG.
Oh, really? Well, I want to try and get them. Well, I want to try and get the next one, but after my last disaster, my last episode of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I was just like, nothing to be asked.
Like that, I felt so bad because at the point where I could help you, I hadn't looked at my phone, and then when I did look at it, it's like, oh Christ, like because you weren't that far from me. If I'd have noticed, long story anyway.
Yeah, the short of it is I got stuck in. Well, EasyJet cancelled my flight at basically 10 o'clock, and I couldn't get another one for 2 days. So I ended up going back to Ipswich and helping Scott move into his new shop and what have you. So
yeah, that was because they walked out, wasn't it? The staff walked out. Yeah,
but they lied to us and said that it was because of electrical storms in the southwest of England and London, which the nearest storms were actually in Germany.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah,
I remember messaging you saying, "I've just watched the weather. The only storms are in Europe. Like, there's nothing here."
I've got the Met app. Well, Louise has got it, but like, cause she has it for cause she loves like lightning storms and that, and she gets well excited when there's one gonna because we don't get that many up here. So I just said like, "Where's the nearest ones?" And I seen the screenshot, and it was like Germany and Italy. That was it.
Yeah.
So
right, let's move into our next topic. This is OSG's one, and I know this one's probably close to his heart because I've heard him talk about this before.
Be a rant here.
Music copyright in retro games, and I'll be honest, I agree with you on this. So take it away, mate.
See, it's a hard one because do I agree that people should be rewarded for the work they do? Yeah, right. But I'm like a developer now. If I develop something now for work, can I go back in years and years to come and say to someone, "You can't use that because I developed that"? They got paid, so this goes back. I'm not going to mention no names because I don't want to get into any shit. But somebody I know got a copyright against them, and it was for playing a game which I asked him to play on the Commodore 64, and it was on for he must have been on for 3 minutes. Copyrighted his whole stream for that 3 minutes of this music playing. So I messaged the bloke on Facebook and said, "Look, what's going on here?" And he says, "Yeah, we'll be copyright." And I goes, "Well, between you and Rob Hubbard does it. I know Matt Gray does it, who's from Last Ninja 2. Hulsbeck's starting to do it now, like copyright things. We're going to destroy the games what their music's in. Is just people are not going to play them no more because now I know people who now you'll say, "Oh, play Monty on the Run." I'm not playing it because the whole stream will get copyrighted, and it's stupid. There should be some kind of I made a Amiga video the other month, and I knew it would get copyrighted, but I didn't mind because I wasn't playing the games. I was showing Amiga music, and I don't mind that copyright going to them. But if you're playing a game, that's different as far as I'm concerned. So that's why it pisses me off.
I kind of think it's quite damaging to them because, I mean, when you think about it, the only people who play these systems really are us old bastards, right? And I think it's when you get younger people that get into these systems, it's only through watching probably things like YouTube that a younger generation then find these things, and this is how you find new people coming to micros. If they start doing this, YouTubers then aren't going to show these games, which then means they're not going to get a new audience for their games. I think really it does more harm than good, doesn't it, at this point?
Yeah, I think that's my whole argument with it's just totally shit to if you're paying 30 seconds of some music on a game where they've already been given that fee. Realistically, this game was an Ocean game. It was actually, I'll just tell you it was Martin Galway, it was Rambo, right?
Oh, really?
And he played it for like literally maybe 3 minutes, and he's been given a fee when he made that off Ocean, right? He couldn't go to Ocean and say, "Oh, every time somebody plays that game on their computers, I want some money." He didn't get that. So
do they, like, when they make the music for the game? Did they own the rights for the game, or do the publisher own the rights?
I would say the publisher, and I would say that this is what annoys us most because you're playing some games are known for the music better than the gameplay, but realistically, coders of the people who develop them games have put miles more work in than what the musicians would, I would think, anyway. But
yeah, like I said, I just think it's bad because, I mean, like Alex said here earlier on, he said you could play it without the music, but the thing is, especially with C64, a lot of the magic comes from the music. I'd say even with the Amstrad on some stuff as well. Would I be right there, Rach? Some of the Amstrad music's pretty good too.
I just think for the sake of sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say for the sake of like a 2-minute video, and a lot of people really going to be bothered to like edit the music out or whatever. They're just going to think, do you know what? I won't bother.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like what Big Jeff is saying here, it's a daft thing to do. We're keeping it alive. Yeah, totally agree.
But then you get some like Jerome Tell, who does like Myth and stuff like that, and Cybernoid. He loves people having his music on videos. He never ever like tries to put a strike against you or anything like that. He loves it.
Well, the thing is, ultimately, it will die a death because if we're not allowed to play it online, kids or new generations are not going to ever hear that. So that's it. That's done. Once we're gone, no one else will know anything about it. Oh, and I've just knocked my microphone. So I just think it does more damage. And really, when it comes down to it, it's just for greed, I think, isn't it?
That's totally what it is. Like my view is that they literally don't care. It's their chance at winning. It's their chance at like getting a few extra quid that they don't have to do any work for whatsoever, apart from just sit there striking. Do you know what I mean? Like getting more money for something that they created a long time ago. However, if I think for whatever reason they own the rights to that music, like legally, then it's more within the right to do that.
Well, they do own the rights. They obviously do own the rights if they're putting that on, but they didn't when they made that.
I mean, have they bought the rights
part of the game? So I believe that if at the start, right, like the start of a video, if I play some of Martin Galway's stuff, right, with no reference to Rambo or anything like that, fair enough, he can copyright my video. If I'm playing a game where that's part of the game, you can't mute the music in Rambo. What do you do there?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I agree. Like if it's in the game and you bought that game, then you should be allowed to play it. Do you know what I mean? Like anywhere you want.
Yeah. Yes, I just can't believe it. I know that you get it with some of the newer stuff, but I never thought there'd ever be a time where you'd start getting this with games that are like nearly 40 years old. I just think it's an absolute piss take, to be honest. Like, yeah. There's just no other word for it. It's just a cash grab.
Yeah, like you say, there's not many of us.
Sorry, Rachel, what was that?
I was just going to say, I agree with you. There's not many of us, sort of looking at those games now, compared to the newer games and things. And it's like, like you say, people just stop playing them and think I can't be bothered.
Mm.
You know, with the hassle of either editing it or muting it. It's just, do you know what? I won't bother.
Yeah, totally agree. What's this? Has it got worse now that it was prior to the Ray Harryhausen stuff, or has it always been bad?
Oh, well, then
Right,
who's
so
Harry
that's in reference to what happened with Top Hat, where he used a photo. So that's that, right?
Oh God!
Which I agree with photos, right? That is somebody's property, but that is what they took a photo, and that is they own that photo, right? So if you use that, then with any image, you've got to like take the consequences. But this is like, I think this is totally different. This,
Yeah, because that's like standalone, isn't it? A photo. It's like one object. Whereas
that's
music's
his
part
job.
of the
His
game.
job is a photographer, and he's took that. And if anybody uses that, you had to go and license that if you wanted to use it. You know what I mean? But I think for use like games, it's totally different. I mean, let's say we went down the Ray Harryhausen thing, and we said that what's his name, John Hare, and them said, "Oh, any photos of us can't be used." So then you start playing cannon fodder and them at the start. Could them say we took them photos? Right, we're going to charge you.
Yeah,
It's
stupid, isn't it? Yeah,
proper.
yeah.
It's a rabbit hole.
Everybody now just wants to make a quick buck, don't they? No matter how it happens, like people will literally sell their soul now for a few quid. You know, I just think it's sad, really.
See, I mind it, right? I mind it a little bit, but if I reach out to them and say, look, like sometimes I like dispute. You're saying in WhatsApp, I disputed something the other day and it got turned straight over, right? Sometimes
What
I
happened to
dispute
that, by the way?
things.
Did it go back to normal?
Oh yeah,
It did. Sweet.
but I think it was that bloke who I'd called a wanker, right? Anyway, it must have been because it was around about that time it happened. But anyway, if like, I forget, you've thrown us off track now, Paul. You've thrown us off track.
Sorry.
Oh, if I approach them, right, and I say, look, this is the crack. I've done a whole gameplay video, and my whole video has been demonetized and given to you, and they come back and say, oh well, like I know that Rob Hubbard, you can actually like message somebody on Twitter if you're going to use play some of his games, and they'll get the okay for you to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then you wouldn't get charged for it, but
yeah.
That's the way it should be. It shouldn't be like when I approached that bloke, he was like, "No, that's a crack. He's my music's been on his thing. Zypho's on like 3 hours, and for the sake of like 3 minutes, I think he just cut it out in the end, to be honest.
Oh God, I would as well.
But that's what will happen. Like games, like great games like that, are just going to disappear from history.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, so the next generation of kids are like, I mean, my two boys. They obviously have played on the C64 because I've got one. But, you know, you're going to have kids whose parents used to have one, don't have one anymore. They're never going to find anything about this stuff because, like you say, it will just disappear from online altogether. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's damaging history, I think, when you look at it from that point of view. I mean, like you say, they got paid back in the day. I do think it's wrong that, you know, you're now trying to make extra money. Like, I mean, here's an idea. How about do what all the rest of us do and go out and bloody work and get money? You know, like we all the rest of us do. You know, instead of
apart from Paul, he just sits at home and gets paid. Don't you, mate?
Gets pissed.
Instead of sitting there on the little computers.
Not if work's watching. No, I'm really busy all the time, like this, like a cat.
Yeah. Right.
As Rachel froze. She looks very.
I don't know. I think
she's either froze or she's really concerned about something.
She might be playing. What was that game where you had to just when the music stopped, you had to just musical statues or
musical
something.
Statues.
Yes. Maybe she's just awesome at that.
I did notice earlier on there was a bit of a delay when I said something to her. It took a while for it went through, but so it might be.
I think that's just normal for Rachel. That.
I'm glad you said it.
I'm wondering. Oh, hang on, she's dropped out. Right, I was going to do that actually, but she'll be back in a sec. Right, let's get our next. Oh, she's actually just said in the comments. For fuck's sake, sorry. Look. Well, what's this? OSG gets ChatGPT to do his work for him.
We can get that on the Commodore 64.
Yeah, we talked about that last month, didn't we?
ChatGPT is a liar, though. You've got to watch, right? So, and I don't do this before anybody thinks this, right? I actually asked ChatGPT, right, to write a YouTube script first. But obviously, you can tell it's not ChatGPT what it does mine, because I just talk like this, and it's just like my language while I talk. And I give it a list of games and everything, right? And it was so convincing. It done a mint script, but then I actually read through it and realized it was a load of bullshit. The whole lot. It was like some games it was saying were shoot 'em ups, what were like platform games and stuff like that. I was thinking, what the actual hell? And it's like, it's a proper liar.
Well, the funniest thing I heard from ChatGPT was that somebody asked it for a Star Wars script for the sequel trilogy, and it actually came up with a better storyline than Disney did. I thought that was hilarious. That's just hilarious, that is, isn't it?
But that would probably be true.
Oh yeah, it was true. Yeah, it was. The guy did a YouTube video on it. Like the storyline it come back with was much better, made more sense. So
it's so convincing, though. It's like the best lie you've ever known to man. It is. It's like it had me convinced.
Yeah. Right, let's go into another topic. Right now, this one I wanted to talk about because I think this is especially relevant these days. Because basically all I hear is how people are buying C64 discs or Amiga discs or whatever, and they're failing, aren't they? You know, like who would have thought that, 35, nearly 40 years ago, you'd be holding a cassette and it would last longer than a disc? Whoever thought that? Because I certainly didn't.
I know, yeah.
I always thought it was weird on the floppies how there was like no protection, on the bit where it reads it. And I used to always think, like, how does that not just get knackered,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so odd to me, like because when you look at it, right? I mean, we've all been there, right? Where we had a tape and it got chewed up, and you're sitting there with your biro pen and you're twiddling it back in. At no point did I look at that and go, "Oh, that'll still be going in 40 years," because you just thought, no, that's going to be screwed in no time. That won't last. And here we are, and cassettes are still here.
It's because these get like moisture in, don't they? In there, they get the moisture in there, I think, and that's where them break down. I mean,
it goes mouldy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's probably the same sort of thing with the C64 floppies. I mean, obviously you had like the Spectrum Plus 3 discs. Are they the same? Do they degrade as quick as?
I don't know. I could say chunky, isn't they? They're very chunky. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would have thought they were more protected. I would have thought. I don't know. Like.
Well, we've got Scott in the chat, so he might be able to tell us because he's got a few, hasn't he? Oh, Chef's here. He's actually watching.
I can see like the BBC and the Commodore being really bad, and that Apple one, because them's just like proper floppy disks, and they're like we're really floppy.
Are you on about the Apple II? Or...
Yeah. I can see them being really, really bad, but obviously these ones, I don't know. I'll give loads of these to Graham Cowie because he needed some for, I think it was for Devil's Temple or something.
Look at this cheeky bastard. Look, big shout out to both Pauls on the panel. What about me and Rach? What the hell? Oh, really? Mate,
Paul's rock.
Lost all respect for you now, Chef.
I know, yeah.
Isn't it? Cheek of it. And there's it. Oh, hang on. At least you got yours. Look. Hello, Ray.
Like I did a special one for you, see?
Yeah. Oh, look. Now he's put hello, brotherly. Like, no, sod you. You done it now. That's it. Yeah, sorry, Paul. I cut you off, mate. What was you saying?
Oh, I can't remember.
No, which Paul?
Not important.
Is this Paul up here? And I'm with
this
G?
Paul? No, I was G.
I was just saying that but I think with like the proper floppy disks would degrade more.
Yeah.
Like he's saying his plus 3 disks are all good. I would say they're kind of chunky and
Spectrum Amstrad discs are a lot more reliable. See, that's interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. At least 30 that don't work. Oh, right, okay.
Do you know what though? And I think, I'll bring the worst tape ever known to man out. I don't know why this is even there. Twice Shy, right? But I think Dick Francis as well. Dick Francis, Twice Shy. That's a good game, Paul. Get that on your Commodore 64, right? There's just something really like. There's just something really like sexy about the tape. I've got one as like there's a air freshener in my car and everything. Do you know them tape air fresheners?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just reminds us of being young, and I don't know. It's actually a Spectrum game. No, that's how shit it is. It's a Spectrum game. No way.
Maybe it's stitched up here.
It is. I don't know where it even come from. Probably
Who
come
sneaked
from
that in?
Lucas.
Someone's planted it there.
Yeah.
Like God knows where that's come from.
Probably bought it off eBay and
Lies.
they've sent you a Spectrum version instead of the C64.
Busted.
I don't know where that's
Busted.
come
Oh, hello,
Got a
what's
secret.
this,
Got a Spectrum collection on the go.
And to be honest, Retrobay, the fourth superior system.
I've got no idea what he's on about.
No, to be honest, I doubt he does either. Yeah. Bloody spell check. Yeah. Like the discs. Seems more fancy. Yeah, see, I mean, I like the disc back in the day, but I mean, I have to be honest, I prefer the cassettes these days. And also just knowing the fact that they're going to last longer as well, you know?
For me personally, because I never had a disc drive as a kid, I've got no nostalgia for it at all.
from. I haven't. You had to be posh. You had to be posh to have one of them, didn't you? And
Or you
I
had
never
to know
had
someone,
one.
or you had to know someone whose dad was a burglar. Like,
I literally knew nobody with a disc drive. So
No,
the first time I ever used a disc drive was when I bought that Commodore 64 back in like 2015 or 16, and it come with a disc drive. That was the first time, and even then I bought a cassette deck so I could buy tapes.
yeah, I started with a disc drive. I then had to get a cassette deck because all the new games were coming out on tape. You couldn't really get discs. Well, not very easily anyway.
you see, do you know for like Spectrum and Amstrad, right? I can understand discs being like people liking them, but for Commodore, right? Part of the charm for Commodore was loading your games in on cassette because you got like the loaders, you got the loading music and stuff like that. And even though you had to wait for it to come on, it was like you had a little party when it was loading in. Especially the RoboCop. I remember when I put RoboCop on, that Ocean 4 come on. It was like first time.
Is that the one with the spelling mistake? Because it's got the don't spell movie wrong or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Orion Pictures or something like that. It spells Orion wrong or something like that. Or something like that.
Something like that. Did you ever play Invader Load?
Oh, that was PlayStation, wasn't it?
No,
it was on the Commodore 64.
I think it was Rob Hubbard, wasn't it? It was something to do with Rob Hubbard as well. So it had his music playing in the background, I think. On
That's interesting. You had that on the PS1 as well with Ridge Racer Revolutions, I think it was. Yeah,
just a normal Ridge Racer and all had the Namco one, didn't it?
Didn't Namco copy that, copyright it or something, so nobody else can do it or something? I'm sure I've seen something about that. But yeah, Invader Load was awesome. It was on my copy of Tau Ceti. And sometimes, like when I couldn't be asked to play Tau Ceti, I used to just load that game, and Invader Load used to come on, and I used to just press stop on the tape.
Yeah. I remember you saying that. I remember you saying that before. You used to just turn it off and carry on playing it.
Tell you what, I'll never moan about loading times again after trying to download that game off Steam.
What game was that?
Oh, I can't remember what it was. I tried to download some off Steam. You know me with my bloody Wi-Fi. Over a year to go, I thought,
what?
You're shitting me. A year to download a game.
Oh, wow.
It's like, no, I'll never moan about tapes again. That's how bad my internet is.
Well, Scott's right there on his comment there. Commodore disc takes like ages to load, and they do because
you had music though. You had music.
No, but I'm just saying about the Commodore discs taking ages. Like the discs are slow as well compared to the Spectrum and the Amstrad, but it's because they didn't update the disc drives from the VIC-20. They just kept the same disc drives, so you can actually update the firmware and put Jiffy DOS
That's it.
like
Yeah.
on your disk drive, and it speeds up like disk
Oh, and
load so much.
Epic's cartridge that makes it faster, doesn't it?
Aye,
The
that
Yeah,
does
that's
as
fast
well.
another
load.
thing. Yeah.
Because it changes something so that I can send and receive more data. So yeah, that really held the Commodore disk drive back. It really did. Just because it didn't update it from the VIC 20.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean, I always thought they were quite quick at loading the disc, but I mean, I didn't know any better back then. That's the thing. You know, I started with a disc drive, so I
Well,
wouldn't
there
have
was
known.
You well, a disk drive.
Yeah.
Posh
Have
bastard.
you not heard this story? Oh, no, there's no posh. Like, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
For
that's what
anyone
all
who-
the posh people say.
For anyone
Trust me,
new
it's
in,
not posh.
no, for anyone new in the chat, here we go. Here's a little origin story. So basically, a friend of mine's dead. My friend comes over one day. He says, "Oh, you got to come over and play my computer. I've got this new computer. I go over, I play. It's a Commodore 64, right? His kid really loves it. My mate, you know. And a couple of days later, all of a sudden, his dad's trying to sell it. And he's going to me, you can have it. It was something stupid like 50 quid or 80 quid. And this was a bread bin, printer, monitor, loads of copied discs, all in like the cases, you know, like the big square boxes they come in. And he said, "Oh, you can have it for this stupid amount of money." Very quick to want to get rid of it. And I was doing like a paper round that I'd told Porkies on. I wasn't old enough, but I lied. And
I got the monitor as well, mate.
oh yeah, I got the monitor as well. Yeah, and I saved the whole.
monitors.
I'd saved all the money from my paper round, and I bought it. It wasn't until a little while later his dad then disappears, right? And I remember getting told, "Oh, he's working away." Well, that was code for when he went to prison. And so then it all starts to fall into place. When I got older, this never occurred to me as a kid because it don't, does it?
No.
I got older and it was like, I bet he bloody nicked that because he used to get done all the time for burglary. So
He was pinched off a posh bastard.
yeah, that's basically what he did. But the audacity, though, he didn't just take just the bread bin. He took the bread bin, the disk drive, the monitor, the printer, all of these cases of discs.
Must
Like, I
have
mean, how
plenty
many
of time.
times did he go back in? Like, just the cheek of it. So, I mean, I can laugh about it now, but some poor sod lost his Commodore 64, you know? But yeah. I mean, his dad, he was a rubbish thief. I remember, like, a few days before Christmas, he walked into
He's not
Halfords.
that rubbish if he's walked out with all that gear, is he?
Well, no, he walks into Halfords, picks up a BMX scooter for his son, just walks out of it in his hands and gets nicked. Like,
Maybe he was just
walked in and
ahead of
out.
his time because that's what everybody's doing now, isn't it?
Well,
So
yeah,
maybe
but
he
I
was
mean,
just ahead of his time.
I think people nowadays have got the common sense to run though when you get outside of it, you know. So, but anyway,
It's a good job he didn't nick an Amstrad, then, isn't it? If he knackered running with that thing.
well, I don't know. It's quite big. You could always hit people with it when they come in there, I suppose, couldn't you?
Be like running with a ladder on your shoulder.
Can you not remember Blackpool? Someone was walking around with one on the
It
shoulder.
was man shovel. It's like a ghetto blaster on his shoulder.
I'm waiting for Rach going, I will not put up with this abuse. Right.
What big chuffers there in the chat.
Hang on, where is it? My C64 and monitor and printer all got nicked back in there. Nice. Yeah,
Tell you what, though, they weren't half the weight, them monitors for the Amstrad, weren't they?
Yeah. The colour one's a lot more bulky as well. It's quite bulky. Like the green screen, it's a lovely shape and that, do you know what I mean? Whereas the colour one, it's like proper massive.
I'm just glad that they found a way around it so that you don't have to have the monitor because, I mean, otherwise I'd be screwed with my one.
Oh, you know? You've got the cable, haven't you? The powered SCART, is it? Or
yeah, Rach sent it to me, I think, wasn't it? It was you that sent me that cable, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you.
That's what I've got now. I haven't got room for the monitor and all that.
Yeah. The stringy floppy wafer drive and micro drive was an interesting compromise to expensive disk, very unreliable though.
I've seen those micro drives before, but I've never really understood what they are because, like, I didn't really know that much about specs really. But I've seen them; they look pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't know if I've seen one or not. Are we on about like? Is
It's not
it digital? Is
No,
it digital?
it was like
right,
back in the day, but it was like I think they're like little cartridges with tape in or something like that. I can't remember because, as I say, I've never bought one, but I've seen a few come up for sale on Sinclair for sale and stuff like that.
It's an interesting name, Stringy Floppy.
I think that was just its nickname. I think Waffle Drive, but Micro Drive's the one I've heard of.
If you know when towards the end of the Commodore 64, and I think the Spectrum might have had one of these as well. I don't know if it was Codemasters who brought it out on like a CD. Can you remember? They brought a CD out with load games from, but you needed like a personal CD player.
Yeah, I do remember that. What's his name? Did a video on it.
I know,
RMC.
Oh yeah, he did as well.
Yeah.
I wonder what would have happened there if that had
come
out a little bit early.
Like a mini 8-track. Right, okay. Interesting.
I'm sure it was it's like a little box or maybe plugs into the, I don't know if it plugs into the cartridge, but it just looked something like that.
Well, I mean, if it's like an 8-track, it would be like a cartridge. That's what they kind of look like, 8-tracks, isn't it? Yeah. Interesting.
We've lost Rach again.
Well, yeah, we've lost Rach again. I'd like to know which service provider she's with. I bet she's with Talk or something because they're bloody crap. Right?
I'm with Talk.
Oh, yeah. Well, you get problems with it dropping out and all.
No, I'm on the cable. That's me Wi-Fi. It's just because my Wi-Fi's at the front of the house, and then you've got all the way through the house, then out the back door, and then all the way to the shed, through the shed, which is lined with double silver back bloody stuff I put in the walls, and then this. Yeah. But when I put the cable in, there's normally no bother. And hi, Mark, good to see you, mate.
Yeah.
Another Mackham.
Yeah. The proper people's in.
Someone from Sunderland, not called Paul or Jordan.
Oh, I tell you. Virgin's mint. Virgin, right? I hate the TV.
They're the same, mate. You don't find many of them in Sunderland.
No, there. The TV's shit, right? The TV box is crap. We've had to send our box back twice within a year, right? It's just absolutely crap, and you might as well be paying for terrestrial TV, but the Wi-Fi and the fucking
it's good, isn't it?
Well, I'm on 1 gig, and it's just like,
yeah.
I mean, if I plug it into the wire, I get like 900 and odd like megabytes a second.
That's right. Yeah, you're on the high speed where it gives you the little 6 above the Wi-Fi.
I'll not be on that for long, like, because we got like a deal. I think it goes up to like 140 odd quid or something next year. I'll cancel.
Well, I get 500, so 500 up and down, and I think we pay like it's under 20 quid.
Who's it with?
And I'm in Inverness, so that's fast for up here.
Who's it with? Mick Fiber.
I'm sure we'll talk.
Talk.
Aye.
I don't know if we do. I don't think we do fibre around here. So we only have Virgin and this thing called U Fibre. I think there's something called City Fibre coming.
Yeah, but that's what Dunars City Fibre.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm on.
Well, they're all competing against each other. So I think U Fibre is offering us for like 3 months or something like that, and then £1 a month or something like that for a year. So I'll go with them.
Yeah, at the moment, let's be honest. I mean, everyone's looking for cheaper deals, so they're going to have to compete with each other now, aren't they?
See, like, I might move to BT because I got a mint offer through this morning where they said it would give us 35 megabytes a second.
Oh, okay.
Who's going to go with that?
I'll stick with me 1 gig a second, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. Right, okay, let's go to another topic. I was going to hang on, but it doesn't look like Rach is coming back.
Yeah, she's saying, sorry, I don't think my phone is going to connect again. That's a shame to lose her.
Yeah. She come to Cornwall, our internet runs down in between 2 tins of beans. Sorry, I don't think my phone is here. Yeah. So, it's gutting, isn't it? Every time we get Rach on, there's an issue, isn't there? Unfortunate.
Oh, this is a tough question.
Can't be helped, though. Yes. So, in fact, it's that tough. I actually had to write some things down so that I would remember. So, I thought as we'd already bashed like micro music and copyright, I thought, well, let's try and find an upbeat thing that we can talk about. So yes, which OG game had the best music? Because I thought I'd go with this because it's easy to pick a homebrew one, but OG not so easy. So, Paul, what do you reckon?
Well, I hope I'm not going to name all of them because like I could just reel off loads. But the best music for me, it's between two, and I'm pretty sure that Paul's going to say the one I'm not going to say. So I'll tell you the second one if Paul doesn't say it.
Right, go on then.
But for me, it's Commando.
I knew that was coming. That was one of mine.
It's got to be Commando.
That was one of mine.
Yeah, it's just superb. It was literally wrote in one night as well. He did it in one night.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good tune. Right?
Yeah, and he wants your money every time you
play
that game.
I know, but you know what? Like I use it on my intro, and I didn't pay him a penny. But then again, I'm not monetized, so I can't, even if I wanted to.
I didn't think he shit out on him. Like
I was watching the Commodore story. I was watching the Commodore story the other day, and Rob Hubbard was on there. Actually, funnily enough,
he'll be after you for if he spoke on there. He'll be wanting paying for that.
Yeah.
Did you listen to my voice on the movie? What?
Yeah.
Why would I get paid for this?
But no, I agree. It was one of my. Oh, Rach is back. It was one of my choices. It is a good game, and I'm glad Rach is back actually because she can tell us her. I know I'm putting you on the spot here. Which OG micro game had the best music, Rach, in your opinion?
Well, it's got to be Feud, but I say that for everything because I love that game. So I'm going to pick another one. There's a game on the Amstrad. Well, it came out on a few of the systems called Rastascan. Now, that had bloody brilliant music. I used to load that up just to listen to the music. The game itself's quite good, but it didn't make any bloody sense. But yeah, that music was brilliant. But I can't remember who wrote it, actually. Was it David Whittaker? I'm not sure, actually. That's a bloody good tune.
And this was on Amstrad.
Yeah, it's not one. It came out on Amstrad Spectrum, MSX. It might have come out on the C64. I'm sure it must have done. But it's not one that crops up very often, to be honest with you.
You have to stick a link
in the
group, so we'll have a look at it.
Yeah.
I will do, yeah.
I mean, I've
just trying to look, mind you, I don't look on the internet, but
I've just noticed that Scott's put RoboCop Spectrum. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. OSG, what's your choice?
Well, I've got so many. I've got to hear all night. So, best OG music for me is probably a single song is Myth.
Oh, you didn't choose the one I thought you were going to say.
No, but you know what I'm going to say next, I think. Or are you not going to say Monty on the Run, are you?
No.
Oh. But for the best soundtrack ever, and I think this is even better than Turrican, right? And Turrican.
Yes, mate, that was the one.
It's good music,
best soundtrack ever, and it just suits the whole game all the way through. If you've ever played Last Ninja 2 from start to finish, you get to the end and just the feeling of satisfaction, and you just feel like whole. It's like watching a film, right? Like a murder mystery where you get to the end and everything's just every loose end's being tied up, and it's I don't know. I'm just.
Have you heard my new intro music? Is
it Last Ninja?
Yeah. It's. Oh, hold on. I'll just turn the volume up there. But it's like here
we go. Gonna get copyright here. Right, that's a copyright strike.
Nah, it's changed enough. It's changed enough not to be a copyright now.
Yeah, not only that, I'm talking over it as well. It's harder for him to get it then. So Lee's one doesn't count because I said OG game, Lee. Guns and Ghosts is a homebrew, so that don't count. Unless
but
on the MSX.
I think technically Monty on the Run's the best.
Well, I'm surprised. There's one that
is a good tune.
There's one that I thought you guys might have said that you didn't, and that's R-Type. Now, I would argue it's better on the Amiga, but it's still good on the C64 too. Like, that's got good music.
It is good. It's a good soundtrack.
Can we just name some other awesome music? Because like I'm itching to just say more.
Just name more.
Well, Platoon. I think
Platoon.
both the start screen and especially the first level. I think the music is just amazing.
Well, I was fucking on, right, for half an hour trying to get Platoon on here, right, because I was going to play that and all, because I know that you love it. That was the first. So this, I know you've heard this because you're in the WhatsApp chat. So this was like when I got my computer. This was the first like thing I got with, and Platoon was the first game I ever loaded up on a Commodore, and it like proper blew us away. It was like unreal.
It was amazing, wasn't it? It was the first hit squad.
It was actually better than the game because the game was I couldn't play the fucking one back then. Sorry, swearing.
No, you're right. I just thought of another one. IK Plus. Good music.
IK Plus, yeah. Is that Ben Daglish? I think
it might be. Yeah.
Is it Hubbard? It's Hubbard, isn't it?
Are you sure?
Yeah. Is it not?
So.
Did Ben Daglish not program it? No.
Hang on.
No, I'm getting mixed up there. I think.
Again, I would say that it sounds better on the Amiga than the C64, but it's still good on the C64. Let's have a look.
I also think Navy SEALs, the music in Navy SEALs is excellent, really good. There's loads like I love the music to Death Wish 3. I think the music on to Death Wish 3 is absolutely superb. RoboCop 2.
Rob Hubbard. It's Rob Hubbard. IK Plus is Rob Hubbard. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I think Jeron Tell done, was it RoboCop 2 or RoboCop 3? I think it was RoboCop 2. But that was amazing. Myth, like you see him, that was Jeron Tell as well. Cybernoid.
Yes, Cybernoid is another one.
That's what Sly uses for his intro music.
Yeah, that's his intro.
That's Jeron Tell, Cybernoid 1 and 2.
And of course, you've got Ocean Loader. Like,
yeah.
I mean, does it get better than that? You know.
I mean, I don't mind the RoboCop music in the actual game of the C64 as well.
Oh, I think the music's better in the game in the C64.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the problem, isn't it? The game's busted to hell. But yeah, the music's good.
I like the music on the Dizzy games as well. I know that the games themselves are a bit.
Oh, I hate Dizzy.
Sort of, you like them or you don't. I do like the music on them.
And Dizzy.
I like the.
I do like my Dizzy games.
If you like a sort of spooky music for the Commodore 64, there's Fist 2. I think the music on that is proper atmospheric. Like it's so eerie. It's like it's just the music on that game. It's better than the game. I mean, the game's all right, but it's a bit boring, just like mooching around everywhere and not really knowing what the hell you're doing. But the music's fantastic on it. Like it's really good.
I'm thinking Ghouls and Ghosts as well. I'm sure that had good
Ghosts
music.
on the Amiga. That had like a proper spooky one, didn't it? It was like different. It was different to the arcade. Oh, Ghosts and Goblins, wasn't it? Which one was different to the arcade?
I don't know. I always get them confused.
I don't know. I got killed immediately, so I never got
one of them.
Lee, I'm surprised you didn't see a Bubble Bobble.
Do you know why I didn't? Because, like, I mean, the thing is, I always say the best version's on the C64 because it is. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody else says. You're wrong. It's better on the C64.
Oh, have you ever played Tiny Bubble though?
No.
Tiny Bubble on the Amiga, awesome.
The reason why I didn't want to go Bubble Bobble was because I thought it was too obvious. Because I always say that. So, but yeah, you are right.
It is.
So Tiny Bubble's awful. Then that's to stay away from.
Awesome.
It, yeah? Oh, awesome! I thought you said awful.
Not awful. No. Where are we getting him from, Paul? Doesn't even understand us.
I know what you're talking about. Don't worry.
It's not my fault. Jesus.
Paul, you should start speaking English. Put doing your videos in English.
Yeah. That's what everybody says.
I was watching something the other day and they were referring to someone who was Scottish and they referred to him as being Irish. I was like, wave, like how to offend loads of people all in one go. Like, well done.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Because Scott's now complaining because we're talking about Commodore 64. So let's say Target Renegade for him. Target Renegade is an absolutely mint tune on the Spectrum.
It's hard for me to pick Spectrum because like I haven't played a lot of the old games on the Spectrum. I've played more Homebrew. So for me, it's hard for me to say.
Yeah, same.
So, I mean, if it was Homebrew, then I'd say things like Redshift and games like that. But best Amiga music ever for me, level 2 of Crystal Kingdom Dizzy. Oh, someone agrees with you, Rach?
See, it's not just me.
That's because 25 Clansmen helped me with my Dizzy video because I don't really like Dizzy, but he loves it.
Oh, I can't stand Dizzy. Like,
it's all right. I mean, I played like I think it was Treasure Island Dizzy and that back in the day, but not really for me. We're too long. I get bored.
Magic Land was the one I played. Magic Land Dizzy. That was the first one. I thought it was all right, but I just got stuck, and then I just got stuck on one of the things and couldn't get past it and moved on. That was it.
I think we're value for money.
Oh, aye, without a doubt. Yeah.
So big.
I think for me, I went from like.
Sorry, Rach, go on.
Just saying, I think for me, I went from like the Amsoft games, and Dizzy was one of the first games that I actually bought. So I mean, go from Bridget, bloody hell, you'd be hard pressed to get any worse, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Imagine if they copyrighted their music, they'd make a ton.
Bridget's a terrible game.
Is that like? Are you allowed to say Hitler has only got one ball on here? Are you allowed to say that? That's what it's playing, isn't it, in the background?
That's the one.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
That and Jingle Bells, yeah.
Yeah. Wheelie had the best specky music. None at all. Jesus. Another classic I ain't played in ages, Agent X. Yeah, that's what Big Juffer was saying, Agent X. Yeah. Right, okay. I'm just trying to think what I played on Amstrad last. There was a game I played that had good music recently. Was it?
Is the music on Relentless? I can't remember the music on Relentless.
No.
Not in the game, there isn't. Not in the game, there isn't. It might be on the intro, but there isn't in the game.
Yeah.
Alcon has absolutely the new one.
Still need to hear
that is mint. The
Still
music on that's class.
Have you played that, Rach?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, you need to. You need to. It looks amazing.
What's it called?
Alcon 2020. It's
No,
like a new Amstrad game.
Is it out on
I'll
physical?
have to look out for that.
I think you can get off Indie Retro. If you go on there, it'll be on there for download.
Yeah, problem is though, you've got to have something to download it on. Like with the Amstrad, it's unless you've got one of them. What's the bloody name of the cartridge that they do, which you can't find anywhere. Like I'm still haven't used tapes on mine.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah, I can't remember the name
of the guy who gave me mine. Who bought mine. Yeah,
it's just hard to find these days.
Yeah,
the thing is with Alcon as well, right? If you're going to play it in the emulator as well in Winape, it doesn't. You don't get the 6 channels of music, or I think it's 6 channels, but you've got to use ECPC or something like that, and that has you can have 6 channels on, and it's absolutely mint. Music's mint on that. And there's actually a lad called what's he called? It begins with J. He comes on Cypher's stream, and he's actually converting loads of C64 classics to the AY chip, and some of them sound mint. So it could be done with the AY chip.
Did you not send me a link to
Jonas Ship? Jonas Ship is called.
I'm sure you sent me a link to that page with some of them were brilliant. That's where I found that Platoon music.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Like what Scott's just said here, Alcon, is that slap fight?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Oh, I was recently watching a video. Hang on, was it
mine?
You? It was yours, yeah. I knew I'd recently watched it, and I'm thinking, hang on, I saw Alcon on something the other day. Yeah, it was your video. Yeah.
Yeah. That actually came, the Amstrad one, which I normally put last on comparisons. It came, I think, second.
Yeah.
Did it come second? I think the Mega Drive came first, and Amstrad came second. The original Amstrad was shit. That came last.
Yeah, it had like a tiny window, I think you were saying.
It was rubbish.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was second. Yeah, because Mega Drive was definitely number one. Yeah. One of my favourites. Yeah, Slap Fight is a good game. And I agree with what you were saying on that video as well, that it's difficult to see the bullets on the Spectrum. I
Well, it's
agree
a
with you on
shame
that.
though, because there's actually like a patch out for it, and it does make it a bit better, but
Yeah.
it could be mint, because I know with Flying Shark on the Spectrum, even though you've got like color clashes, absolutely mint for like a shoot 'em up. It's a bit like Redshift. Redshift's mint, but then like I would say Flying Shark was probably the second best shoot 'em up on there.
Yeah, it's a good
Like
game.
top down shoot 'em up.
Yeah, I do enjoy playing that. Playing the arcade game all the time, trying to master it.
Do you know the cheat? Oh, he can't talk back to us. There's a cheat on it, Scott, on the arcade, where if you don't shoot for the first like however long you can go without shooting, you get like all the weapons when you die. You come on with all the weapons, and you come on level 4, level 5 as well with a massive bonus. That's on the arcade.
Wow, didn't know that.
Now you do.
Fairlight music.
When Mark's saying Fairlight, does he mean like the music on cracked games?
Like where the devil's and the angel. That's Fairlight, isn't it?
Yeah, to me that's what Fairlight is, but I don't know if that's a game as well.
Crack draw, isn't it? Is it crack draws?
Some of that. Well, yeah, it'll be their music, but I don't know if it's maybe a game as well. Come on.
Yeah, don't shoot, die, and you get all weapons. Cindy Steve showed me it at my meetup. I don't know if I feel like I've seen that on one of Arcade Archives videos as well. Have I seen that on there? I'm sure he did it in one of his videos.
I remember them playing it at the weekend. So I've got a cracking video of Steve playing, getting the high score on another arcade. Like the total concentration, you see his face in the reflection of the game that he's playing. You can just see his eyes and the concentration. So
in the zone.
Stick it in, or I'll put it on or something at some point.
So you're being told here, no, it's an isometric game.
I've seen that. So there you go. It's not the crack music.
Yeah. But that's good music on a lot of them.
Escape the Victory. The Great Escape. It looks a bit like. So.
Some of the some of the new music is good though on the home games. It's pretty amazing how far they've managed to push like all the systems really. I think in some of the new music.
Well, I mean, I say all the time
about Homebrew, but it is impressive. Like
I say all the time, but Man Cave, I love the music on that. I think that's really good.
Yeah, what song is that though? Because it's a cover, isn't it?
On the loader, I Need a Hero.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. And then when you get into the game, it changes each level. It's a different tune each time. But yeah, really good. It sounds really good. And funny enough, speaking of music, actually, I found on YouTube the other day, it was a new video come up. Someone, and I'm going to put the link in the chat, someone actually had put Scatman on a C64. And it didn't sound too bad. Hang on, let me just...
Do you know what one of my guilty pleasures is? Listening to what music sounds like when it's being played on a printer. Like,
yeah.
I just think they're hilarious.
So I've just put the link in the chat. If anyone wants to check it out. Yeah, I thought it sounded pretty good. I thought that's pretty clever, like, you know.
Good homebrew music. Definitely on this one. The Fate of Atlantis. The music on that is just so fitting for the game.
Who does the music?
Soul Cross.
Oh, I knew you were going to say Soul Cross. Soul Cross does it all. Does Abby DeMort and everything, doesn't he? He does all that.
Yeah, Abby DeMort.
So I know Soul Cross because Soul Cross was. Do you know when I did ages and ages ago? I did the race to Chaos Engine. Can you remember that video where it was going to come out on the C64?
Oh, yes.
Soul Cross was actually working on one as well. He was working on one as well. So, like, I taught the kind of bit to him. But he does music on loads of... It's mostly Sidetronic games. Is that Sidetronic?
It is, yeah.
No,
Oh yeah, see you saying Cytronic. I mean, X-Force has got pretty good music. That's a shoot 'em up. That's good. And then, funny enough, that's the one that's got the cover by oh God, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. The famous artist for Zap. Oh, what's his name?
Freya?
Frey, Oliver Frey.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cover to that game, it was done for I think another game by Oliver Frey. And all they did was like zoom it in and make it a more of one, like they basically took a corner of the image, if you like, and made that the cover for X-Force. But it's got Oliver Frey in the corner on the front cover. So
what does that look like? I've seen that somewhere else.
what, X-Force?
Did we talk about that on something on a stream once?
Probably.
Where it looked like another game.
I've played it on my channel.
No, right.
Yeah, it's a good game. Music's really good. Side-scrolling shoot 'em up. Someone said one here, Soulless. Like that one, yeah, I do remember that having good music because I think Martin played that on one of his Monday night retros. Yeah. See, I was just thinking, like, I mean, I always like the music on Shadow of the Beast on the Amiga. What was that like on a Commodore 64? I can't remember.
Don't think I ever played on the Commodore 64. Do you know what? It's a good Amiga game. Well, it was a good Amiga game, but it's not anymore.
Yeah.
That's what, do you know when you do like, when you get into the realms of lists, Paul will know this, you get like loads of kickback of people saying, why have you missed this out? And you've got to answer back with, yeah, because it was mint back then, but if you play it now, it's a little bit shit.
The hit detection's terrible.
Yeah.
The hit detection on that game is terrible. Like
number 3 was good though, wasn't it?
Shadow of the Beast 2 was just far too hard. Shadow of the Beast 3 was good.
Shadow of the Beast 3 was meant to be the best one. And to be honest, I've not played it, but out of the three, it's the one that I would like to play the most.
But out of all of them, everybody remembers one, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, okay. Shall we move into another topic? Let's go with this one. Best and worst licensed games on the micros. Okay, Paul, go on.
Well, the best one, or one which I think is really, really cool, is it's the Pet Shop Boys. Is it no? Am I thinking the?
You're talking about Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Oh my god!
I was going to say, what are you on about? Pet Shop Boys? I'm like, I don't remember a Pet Shop Boys.
I'm going to bed.
And he ain't on the wine tonight, guys. Like,
I know.
See, your brain works better when you're on it.
My argument exactly. That's
it's a good job on there to finish your sentences off, Paul.
Yeah, Frankie Goes to Hollywood. That it's a little bit different, but I think it's a pretty cool game, and they got away with some good stuff in that game as well. But I think that's like would be a little bit different if I'm going for like Hollywood blockbuster sort of games like that. Then it depends if it's overall or just for the Commodore 64 or the Amiga. Really, like.
Well, I mean, you can pick across the board, mate. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, RoboCop's going to have to be up there, right?
Yeah,
like across all the systems.
On
like,
Spectrum.
Yeah.
I know it was incomplete on the Commodore 64, but what we had, I actually enjoyed it. Like, I had no problem.
Yeah.
I was never going to get past level 5 because I've never been getting past level 4, so I had no issue, and I never even knew until years later it was incomplete. But yeah, I love that game, even though comparing it to others, it's not as good. But I didn't know about the others. I just enjoyed playing that one.
EastEnders. Oh, hello. What's going on here?
Somebody else is in.
Yeah, we got 2 for Rach. Hang on, let me get rid of this one.
She's all over.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh no!
You kicked her out. She was just switching.
What is going on here? Jesus Christ! So I get rid of the extra window, and then she's gone again. All right, hang on. Let me get rid of.
And that's for worst.
Or neighbours.
I mean, you're not
You better say the worst.
He-Man. Nah, the
No.
A-Team.
No, it wasn't even licensed. I don't think that.
What
That
A
wasn't
Team?
licensed.
I heard the A Team was actually meant to be a different game, wasn't it, originally?
Do you know? I hated Dick Tracy. I thought that was shit.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. 664 version of that is the
Horrific.
lowest. It's the lowest
Highlander.
scoring.
There's just the list.
Highlander, you've just said it. Highlander has to be the worst on all systems.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
Is it though? Because when I looked on Google,
it's shit.
It's terrible.
Dick Tracy got 11%. That's how low it was. So I'm sure Dick Tracy was the
Yeah,
worst.
Dick Tracy's mint on the Mega Drive though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's on there.
Miami
Vice,
Vice.
I can't even play that.
That was mint.
I have an epileptic fit when it loads up at first, though. What's all that about?
Untouchables. That was on my list. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was class. That.
Right, hang on. Rach is back. I don't know if she knows that we can see her.
I'm
She's tapping
in
away.
hundreds there, so I think someone else should go because I can just go on.
Big Trouble in Little
I was
China.
getting a bit of
was
an
awful.
echo, so I was trying to see if I had another window open. So it's fine now. Sorry
Yeah.
about
Twice.
that.
That's all right. You sound better now, though.
Oh,
It
Big
sounds
Trouble in Little
definitely better.
China was horrible.
Right, I'm going to quickly go before Paul mentions all of them. So, here's
No,
one.
it's got who's saying that.
Batman the movie on the C64. I'm surprised no one picked Batman. That's a good game.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was for your worst. I was like,
No, that's for my best.
right, yeah.
It was good. It was
Oh,
good.
not for
Yeah,
my-
it was good. It was a bit samey.
So
But
if I was,
what you had of it was good, like, but the levels just seemed to repeat, really.
Dick Tracy was definitely one of my worst, but another one is C64 version of RoboCop. It was terrible. And on all systems, Airwolf. Airwolf was bloody terrible.
That was awful.
Couldn't, a helicopter that don't hover. I mean, sorry, that is one of the worst games ever. So,
It did, like, for me as a kid, I was gutted because I couldn't play it. I was terrible at it. And I loved Airwolf. So, but a lot of people are really good at it and they really enjoy it. There is people, I'm sure Mark is writing something now saying he totally disagrees because I've seen him complete Airwolf. And I was just like,
I've got another bad one. Cobra. Cobra was bad.
Cobra was mint on the Spectrum more.
Yeah, it was, but it was terrible on the C64.
Yeah, it was
horrendous.
really bad.
26.
Super Gran. That was awful.
oh,
Super
was that
great.
Time Soft?
Super
Was that a
Gran.
Time Soft game?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a Fleederson pet as well? Oh,
Yeah, that's
God.
bad. Yeah.
I think
Or-
that Jimmy
or-
Savile game, what you got, Paul, was the worst.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what about this one?
Super Trolley.
T2.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
And we could talk about that all day, the way that they tried to release it on a console and you needed a keyboard to start it. Yeah.
But yeah, the levels were just repeated. It was such a shame because the intro, when it's like moving up the Terminator with the music in the background, it was like, yes, man, this looks amazing, sounds amazing. And then we got that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And what about, well, I don't know if it's licensed. Like, well, it is licensed, but it's not like a film license. But what about Outrun on the Amiga? Just for the intro, what Paul's just been talking about, the intro was like, oh, this is going to be fucking mint.
that soon
What the
changes.
actual hell?
At that point, you didn't realise that was as good as it was ever going to get. You
But it
didn't know
is,
that
it's
right then.
mint.
And that's the reason I'm laughing, because like instantly that sprung to mind when you went, oh, this is going to be mint. It's like, yeah, and that's where it ends. Like, yeah.
Well, I can actually remember, right, going all the way home on the bus with fucking Double Dragon, right, which is, even though Paul's slated it earlier, even though it's my favourite game ever on arcade, right? I remember
On the
going home
64.
with, no, on the 64, I was reading the box, a big box. It was like mint. I was on the 160. Can you remember the 160? The 160 from Sunderland to Fence Houses. You might have gotten into the
Oh,
board.
I thought you would have getting the 535 or the 536 or something.
That didn't come to mind. So anyway, I was reading it, and I think it had actually had It might have even had arcade screenshots on the back. I'm not sure. It didn't have the fucking C64 ones on, and I was thinking, I can't wait to get home. And then I like loaded up, which took like fucking 20 minutes, and I was like, what the actual fuck is this?
It was the new ones that we used to stick on sometimes, didn't they? It was just like, what? I remember Street Fighter 2. I was just like,
Whoa.
what's happened?
This is going to be great.
That was bad on so many systems. That was. I mean, do you remember on the Amiga how many discs you needed for that? It was ridiculous.
No, I just didn't even know.
Do you know on the Amiga board, it looked really nice on the Amiga Street Fighter 2, nice, but it just like moved like a flip book.
And it was like 6 discs, and you was constantly switching them each fight. It was a nightmare. I remember getting it and being instantly disappointed. Sorry, Rach.
Tell you what game I did like on the Amstrad, Aliens. If I was to describe
Which one?
it.
Was there a European and a US? There's two on the 64.
It was, I think it was the European version. Where it's like first person view. Yeah, I loved that game. When you sort of describe it, it sounds a bit shit, doesn't it? And all the rooms look the same. Oh, it's bloody brilliant. I loved that.
Is that the one?
It was a good horror game. It was a good horror game had on there. It was like had like a good eerie like atmosphere to it.
It did.
I like the US version.
There wasn't a lot.
Well. Like I like doing the drop ship and.
I don't think the Amstrad will have had a US version though, because they didn't even know what it is. You know, the Amstrad. That's why that man shovel had it on his shoulder.
Of course.
Because somebody gave him one. He didn't even know what an Amstrad was before he came on Zypho's stream.
Jeez, that's my.
There was another version, or maybe it was Alien, but no, I think actually there was another Aliens game. But that was like I'm sure that was like a top-down view. I've not played it.
One of the levels. There's a couple of levels is like a top-down view, like when you're trying to escape, and there was a few top-down ones.
It's
like different scenes from the film, like recreated. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Any Night Rider game, what a crop of shit. Any Night Rider game ever. And Night Rider used to be my favourite thing on the telly.
Yeah.
And I must have played every single Night Rider game ever known, even like on the PS2 and all that. And they're just a pile of shit.
The PS1 I found especially bad.
What, Night Rider?
It was not on PS1.
No, it was PS2. It was PS2 because I'm looking at them both.
In my head, it's that bad. I thought it was a PS1 game.
Do you know what though? It shouldn't have been because it's got all the makings of like a mint game. I just don't understand how it got so wrong.
On the PS2, they did two of them. They did Knight Rider and Knight Rider 2, the game. I don't know why they felt on the second one they had to tell you it was a game. Because like
just in case you thought it was like Hasselhoff in the series.
That's how bad the first one was. They had to tell you that the second one was a game. But yeah, you're right. They're absolutely terrible. So, and I was waiting for this one. I was waiting for somebody to say this because I know that Scott would have said this if he was on here. Street Hog. Yes. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, really bad.
See, I seen Zypho playing that. I don't think it was that bad. It was bad, but it was some really, really bad ones. I mean, what was that one? Was one on what was Hello on the Amiga as well? Oh, on the Amiga, right?
Three Stooges is good on the Amiga.
I was about to say that.
No, on the 60. Was it the 64 or the Amiga?
I think it was Amiga.
Yeah, I think it was Amiga.
Everybody remembers that. That's one of the reasons that loads of people got the Amiga.
That's when you can throw pies across the room, isn't it? If I remember right. In fact,
is it a cinema game?
You see that game in Lethal Weapon 3.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, in Lethal Weapon 3, when Mel Gibson goes round to that bird's house, she's got it on her computer and you see it playing in the background. Yeah.
That's a random fact, mate. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it's just you talking about Three Stooges just reminded me because he knocks the mouse or something and the monitor comes on and it's them throwing pies across the room. I love Street Hawk on the TV, but yeah, the game moved. Yeah. Well, I mean, Street Hawk, the TV program, it's a bit of a love-hate thing for me because the first two episodes were really good and then it went downhill because you saw less of the bike and too much of Jesse Mark. And yeah, it's just terrible. And it was 12 episodes? I think it was like only like half a series.
I remember being on TV, but yeah, I must admit I've not watched it back.
I did a video on it, talking. I think I titled it "The Rise and Fall of Street Hawk." This was when I first started my channel, so it's a rough video, but there's a lot of facts in there. Like the reason why it went the way it did was one, because it was competing with a really popular show, and the
What
other
was the
reason.
popular show? Night Rider.
No, it wasn't that.
Oh, was it not?
Because it was meant to start in September, but they had a popular show on and they didn't want it interfering, so they started it mid-season, which was after Christmas. And then there was the fact that the price of the bikes, because they kept breaking them, that was why you see less and less of the bike as the series goes on, because they were destroying them and didn't have the money to repair them. So yeah,
I think they would just do all the other scenes and then just do the stunt scenes at the end, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, like I say,
maybe I'm the first person to realise that.
Well, I mean, this is back when they were using fiberglass, which is just falls apart, and it wasn't like now where you got carbon fiber and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I did a video on it. I looked into it. I did one on Airwolf as well. I mean, did you know Airwolf ended up being an ambulance, an air ambulance? Did you know?
Yeah, crashed as well. Killed everyone on board.
Killed 3
It was only
people.
like a Western, wasn't it? Like a Western helicopter or something.
It's French.
Yeah.
French, I know. I'm sure it's French.
And in Brazil, they tried to put that Knight Rider and Airwolf all in the same universe, and it was called the Incredible Helicopter, the Incredible Car, and the Incredible Bike. Yeah, terrible. Anyway, let's move on. I've got loads of useless information on them shows. But yeah, okay. Let's go into something else, shall we? How long we got? 28 minutes. Right, okay. Here's one then. Right. Recommend a game. So you can only pick one game. What game would you recommend to someone who's new to micros?
Okay.
Paul.
You know what I'm going to say. Sam's Journey.
Right. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Rach? Is Rach froze or no?
I don't know if she can hear you.
Can you hear us, Rach?
Oh,
Oh. Well, we can hear you.
the audio's gone a bit funny.
Can you hear me now?
Say it again.
What game would you
I can hear
recommend
you
to
now,
someone
yeah.
who's new to micros? What game would you recommend?
Can it be a new game?
Yeah, any game,
Like a new homebrew game?
any micro game you can think of. What would you recommend to someone who's new to micros?
I think Operation Alexandria. That's quite a good one. It's a new homebrew one for the Amstrad.
I've not played that.
I really enjoyed that one.
And what sort of game is that, Rach? Because I've not heard
It's
of
worth
that.
a go. It's I wouldn't say it was a shooter. It's a bit of a puzzle shooter. It's sort of based on a true story. I don't want to say too much, really, but it's a really good game. Difficult, but it's a good game.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it.
Oh, hang on. Someone's just put here, what did they call the Incredible Hulk? I have no idea. OSG, what would you say? What would you recommend?
Well, I'm gonna, just to keep Scott happy, I'm gonna say Sword of Iona, because I just think it's like a game where it's absolutely mint. And I'm not a Speccy lover, even though I've got loads of Spectrums, but that game is just absolutely mint. It's class, and anybody who plays it will just think that it's got like more atmosphere than any other game I've ever played.
Yeah. I've got to admit, it is a tricky question because it kind of depends on what system you're on about. But if I was going to go with the top of my homebrew games, I would say it's got to be, I don't know, actually. There's another one that's just popped into my head. Or I think I'm going to have to say Redshift, but Relentless is good as well.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a bit sad
Oh,
saying all new games, though, isn't it?
what's that?
It's sad that we're all saying like new games
Well, let's do the same, but pick original games.
Yeah, let's go with the original as well. Yeah, why not?
because we've all said new games, isn't it? And
Yeah.
with a
Okay,
new
Paul.
game, you don't get. See, this is why the question's a bit like rigged, because it's like, what would you show somebody now to get them to be interested in like 8-bit, and that would be a new game. But the reason we're interested in 8-bit is because of the nostalgia we got from the old games.
Yeah.
So, would they feel what we feel if you showed them like an old game? Would they probably think it's shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, my
It'll be a
boys.
tougher question because you really have to really rack your brain. You can't. You don't want something that's too simplistic.
It's
You
not hard for
want something
me.
that-
Not hard for me. When my boys, when I introduced them to the Commodore 64, the first game I loaded up was Bubble Bobble, and they loved it. And then after that,
It's a
like
timeless
that.
game. It could still go on to like a mobile game now that, and kids would play it.
yeah. And the one after that was Batman the movie. They enjoyed that as well. And then it was IK Plus. So 3 top ones there.
IK Plus is like that's maybe the one. IK Plus, to be honest.
And like if we include Amiga, because that's like a microcomputer, right?
Not really. It's more a home computer, but yeah, you know, you can go with it.
If you want to lie and say Amiga, you can.
I just want to mention Worms because, like, I know kids now who play Worms and they love it.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same as what I did back in the day. So if there was Worms for the Commodore 64, which there isn't yet, but if there was, then I think that would be a game that like kids of nowadays would still get into because it's still a good game.
Yeah. Right,
I think for an old game, I'd pick. It's going to be Feud, isn't it? Because I think it looks good. The music's brilliant, and I just like the gameplay where you've got to go around and collect all the different things for the potion and kill your brother.
I'm nodding because I'll be finding out soon because Rach kindly sent me a copy of that. So I've got Feud for the Amstrad. So yeah, I'll
kind of trying to avoid saying it because I say it's my favourite game. It's brilliant, and every time it's like, "What's your favourite Feud? What game would you Feud?" So I try and like not mention it now, but it is a bloody good game, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we did the favourite game video, you did a bit of gameplay in it, and it looked really good. So
yeah,
or Alien Breed Seed.
If you go to Amiga, there's going to be a fair few like Chaos Engine. Do you know what
Moonstone.
I mean?
Cannon Fodder. Yeah, I could go all day with the Amiga. There's loads. Speedball 2. It's just loads, isn't there? Yeah. Super Hang-On's good on the Amiga.
But would a young'un enjoy playing it though?
I don't see why not.
I think they'd want more for a racing game because of what they get these days. Personally,
Yeah,
I think racing games, apart from a couple, I don't think young kids would really enjoy it. I don't know, maybe supercars, something like that, because you've got like the added, like blowing people up and the tests and that.
Supercars is very like what you would find on Google Play Store now, isn't it?
I mean, I've got the an arcade stick, a double arcade stick, Pandora, and I've looked that up, and I remember I put Road Blasters on, and my boys loved that. That's that's all right. It is a shooting as well, but it is racing and shooting, isn't it? And they enjoyed it. I don't know. Some kids maybe think it's a bit primitive. Maybe. I mean, my boys, they like Micro Machines. They thought it was rock hard when they were playing.
My youngest, he's 12, and he's like obsessed with Donkey Kong. Just plays it on the arcade all the time. And that's all he plays on there.
It's not a bad thing, though.
Has anyone been watching them videos about Donkey Kong? The guy got the world championship. The guys.
Yes.
Have you been watching about all the stuff that's getting released about him? That he's actually lied. That he didn't even record it.
I was talking about it in the group the other day.
Yeah, Billy Mitchell. Yeah. It's all just come out in the last few days. That's all.
But have you not seen King of Kong?
Nah,
have you seen that?
Paul, this has been coming out for ages, mate. It's been months.
Have you not seen King of Kong, Paul?
No, not.
After this stream, right, get YouTube on and go and watch King of Kong.
Right,
It's like
okay.
mint.
Yeah, I mean,
I've just been watching it like recently, and like it's just like wow, like this guy's releasing videos every day of how his story just totally falls flat on its face. Yeah, that's who I'm watching. That's
Yeah.
Carl Jobs. That's the guy. I've been watching his for the last like 3 or 4 days. He's released one every day, and it's mind blowing. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I've been watching him for a while because he's been saying that the system weren't modified, and it clearly is in the photo. You can see it's got a red stick on it.
Is this a new thing now? Like, is this happening again?
I don't. Well, it's going to court, isn't it?
Yeah, he's trying to sue him.
So this is his evidence that he's given, and the lawyers for the people who hand out like these awards are saying that it's fake, and he hasn't won it at all. And Billy Mitchell's taken them to court, you know, and they're just absolutely destroying him with his own evidence that he's given.
So Billy Mitchell's a like. Have you watched Pixels? Have you watched Pixels with Adam Sandler in? Do you know Peter Dinklage? The Fire Blaster or whatever his name is. He's supposed to be him, Billy Mitchell.
A parody of him, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just exactly the same as him. You know, he's like proper arrogant and.
Basically, he's trying to sue them for defamation of character. That's what he's trying to do.
But they're suing him back and everything. So now it's all got to court. It's like proper evidence, and these are the tapes of his interviews. And it's like he's dropping himself in it all the time. He actually changed his story completely as well at one point.
Well, even his lawyer, when he got caught out in the court, the lawyer made up a lie on the spot.
That's it. Yeah.
So even he got caught out. Yeah. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, that's it. Someone's just said in here, Twin Galaxies. That's right. Yes. And he's suing everyone back. Yeah, he's doing them for defamation of character.
Sorry to go on a tangent, but yeah, when you mentioned Donkey Kong, I was like, oh shit, I've got to mention that, like, just in case.
Well, you need to go and watch King of Kong.
Yeah, for sure.
Billy Mitchell
got Steve Weebly in, who's like who he was competing against, who beat him, and then he came in with his video, and this is where this has all come from. So, like, you're watching things out of like sort of context, you know what I mean? If you watch that, then you'll understand this more. It's good. King of Kong, like, it's very good.
Billy Mitchell is like Zypho using 100 save states on Cauldron too. You started well.
Makes me laugh. You know, with that Todd Rogers, and he was supposed to have sent that legal letter, but he spelt his own name wrong. He spelt it as Todd Todgers.
Oh my.
Did you see that video?
No.
Oh, honest to God, I thought, you know, you'd give up the fight then if you can't spell your own name right.
Yeah.
Oh God. It was embarrassing.
I'm going to have to go for a week. 2 seconds. I'll be back.
Thanks for sharing.
Wash your hands.
I bet he's going for a poo, really, but he just didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
You're amongst friends.
Someone just put King of Kong is a superb film on another tangent. Watch Beyond the Mat. That's a wrestling thing, Beyond the Mat. I've seen that. That's the one where you see Mankind getting his head stitched up afterwards. Like you can properly see his skull. Yeah. Wow. He takes a chair shot to the head and you see him stitching his head and basically his skin on his head's parted and you can see skull underneath. And they're like stapling his head back together. Sort of. Honestly, it's bad. Yeah. Okay, it's good. Yeah, King of Kong. Yeah. Right, let's have a look. What have we got left? I mean, at some point we're going to get onto Homebrew anyway, because I've got a new Homebrew. I haven't had one for a while. I've got one recently.
I'm getting one.
I wonder if it's the same one I've got. While we're waiting for Paul, I'm just going to play this one more time because it's funny.
No, I will not shut up!
I knew it was going to be that. You ass.
It's when that picture come out the other day in the group, it's like, what can I do with that? And I thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Because the first thing I thought was, I remembered you saying on one of the streams, oh, don't let me drink too much wine because when I do, I don't shut up. I remember you saying that.
Man, I think we know that I just don't shut up, just full stop, I think.
And I just thought, Lee Evans. No, I will not shut up. That's what that's from, Lee Evans. He's talking about his wife.
Yeah, what happened to him? You never hear much about him now, do you?
He's retired now, isn't he?
Was he jacked in, was he?
Yeah, well, I mean, he was doing it for years, wasn't he?
You went on to movies and stuff, though, didn't you? Done a few movies, like
Yeah, he
bit
did do
parts
a
here and there.
couple.
Fifth
Yeah,
Element.
something about Mary. He was in that a bit, wasn't he?
Something about Mary. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And then poof, gone.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, you think about it like this, right? When he started stand up, when he started getting famous, he talks about his daughter, and she's like a toddler. By the time he finished, she was an adult. Like, she'd left school and, moved out, and I think she must be like 18, 20 by then. So that's how long. That's how long he was going for. That's crazy, isn't it? Because the name of the production company was called Little Mo. That's what he used to call his daughter, Little Mo. So, yeah, she didn't say little now.
Didn't know that, mate.
Right, okay. While Paul's going, let's do this quick because then we can go to Homebrew. So, yes, I've started collecting hit squads. And I'm going to blame Martin for this. I'm going to blame Martin for this. It's all his fault, so I'm going to play this.
Hello, little old lady.
And he blames me for him starting.
It's all his fault because...
Do you know who else has started?
Has he really?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. No way. I didn't realise that. Yeah,
What are you collecting for? The C64? Sorry.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep away from it, but I kept seeing Martin like showing games when he was doing it, and it's like, oh, I want that one. Oh, I want that one as well. And I had that one, like, and before I knew it, because I kept saying to him, Martin kept saying, oh, you got to get him, you got to get him. And I'm like, no, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. And then before I knew it, I'd picked up a few, and it's like, oh, shit, I'm in with both feet now. Like, it's that moment of realization. It's like, right, I've got 10 now. Yeah, all right, I'm collecting them now. Like,
and I think that Paul definitely went for a poo there. He was far too long to be just.
Sure, man. When my bladder was nearly busting there, I was like thinking, no, it was only like 15 minutes left. Up and wait, and then just no, I couldn't wait no longer.
Someone just said it here as he locked himself in the toilet.
I ended up getting wrong for waiting like with puppy up on the way in. So
follow through live on stream.
So how many have you got altogether, Lee? Like, what you up to?
I don't know. So far, I mean, I ain't done a video yet, so I'm not going to say what they are. But so far, I've got about 25.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it's Martin. It's his fault because he kept showing them, and I just kept getting them.
I do know some of them because I'm sure I donated one or two in one form or another, possibly.
To me,
yeah,
you might have done
because there's something else that you're doing on your channel.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, I think you did. Yeah. Oh, I don't know though. That might have been Specky.
Might have been.
I think it was Specky.
No,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
But you're not spotting the Specky one as well, are you?
No. I'm only going to do it for the C64. But yeah, it's because I had a few of them back in the day, and I kept, like I say, I kept seeing Martin doing his videos, and I was like, oh, I really want that game again. And then he, like I say, I kept saying, no, I'm not going into this. I'm not falling in the trap. I'm not doing it. And then before I knew it, I'm doing it. Like, nostalgia's a bitch, ain't it? It really is.
It's even worse when you're buying them and you've got no nostalgia for them. That's when it becomes difficult.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's going to be some stinkers in there, isn't there? But
there is.
Yeah. And the worst part is they're probably the most expensive ones as well.
Yeah. To be fair, like Lethal Weapon, I think on the 64 it's a good game.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to be realistic here.
Just
I doubt I'll ever get that.
You never know.
Look at what Scott said.
I seen Narc go for 16 quid today for the Commodore 64.
Really?
That's a 50 quid game.
Oh, man.
I wish
I'd known that.
By the time I seen it, it had sold. It had already gone. But yeah, it was on there. Someone put it on the Hit Squad Facebook group, which hopefully you two are both in, because there's like games come up for sale there.
I don't know if I am actually. We'll have to talk later.
Yes.
Well, I started, and then like it came to a grinding halt because like
You find them hard to smuggle them in.
I don't know. I will start again. I will. Where at? I didn't know where that. I think we're in the stupid little case thing here. Oh, yeah,
I've done all right. I've had
it's
some
like-
pretty good deals. I've been quite lucky so far.
briefcase.
Oh, I've got one of them, mate.
Can't even get
Yeah.
the one.
That won't hold many of them. Probably about a third of the collection, maybe, if you're lucky.
So I've only got the ones off what Scott I bought off Scott and like a couple of others which I bought. So I've only got like that many. So not
Yeah.
25.
It's a fledgling.
Do you know what? I started like going through them and testing them, and I was going to do like a video on them and start doing stuff like this, but then I lose like interest in things dead quick, you know.
Well, the thing was, I mean, I've been doing my Star Wars video game pursuit, and I get them when I see them, and you know, so in between, because I hadn't really seen anything of that, and I've been seeing Martin's videos and picking up hit squads. It's like, right, well, I guess I'm doing that now as well, like you know, sort of thing. So you know how it is.
So what is it about hit? Sorry,
Go on, mate.
just gonna say what is it about hit squads? Because I seem to hear a lot of people collecting them, and are they particularly good games? Or
did you never play them
is
as a
it
kid?
just-
Did you never buy them as a kid because they were like budget range, so they're like pocket money price?
Yeah,
I had about 4 of them.
Yeah.
They
Have you bought them
re-release.
back? Because once you buy them back, like it's like a bit of a. Actually, look, there's these other ones that I also wanted to play, but I never did, and they're really quite cheap to buy, and they all have numbers and they all stack up nicely. And next thing you know,
They did have numbers,
you've
yeah.
got like 10, 15 of them, and you think, well, there's only like 142, 143, or do you know what I mean? So
They had different collections, didn't they? If I remember,
Yeah,
did they have like a movie collection, a sport
Arcade,
collection?
movies, sport. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that now.
So
I only had
I
about
don't
4.
think I can get into it. That's why I don't think I can get into it, because I don't have that nostalgia for them, Paul. I can't ever remember having a hit
yeah, I
squad.
do.
I had loads.
So when I bought that Commodore 64 the other month with this in,
Yeah.
and it was like opening that was like being on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Like I had a feel of that. If I went out and bought Double Dragon, even though it's a shit game, I'd still have that feeling when I touched the box. Do you know what I mean? I don't get the. I think that's why I stopped. I think it's just like it's not nostalgic to us.
See, the thing for me was, I mean, because hit squads were basically they re-released games that had come out years before and then did them cheaper as a budget.
Yeah, that's
you know?
right.
And I remember that, and you know, I wasn't always an angel. I had a lot of them that I probably didn't pay for, courtesy of Woolworths. 5-finger discount, if you like, but so I had a lot of them back in the day. They used to come on cards. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You used to have them on.
Toys R Us used to sell them as cards.
Yeah, you had that little swivel thing, and they were on there, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had loads of them, but when I sold my C64, they all went. You know, so
I just got incredibly lucky more than once. Otherwise, I would never have finished mine. So
It used to be I think I've told you this. It used to be like a hairdressers up the top of fence houses. It was like a hairdressers, and then the hairdresser's son used to have like a computer shop next door. But it was like he was only about our age. He was only like 12-year-old or something, right? But he had like a back room where he had all these games in, and we used to go and buy like budget games from there. And the only budget game I can ever remember buying, and it's absolutely shit, but it would hold nostalgia if I got it, was Subway Vigilante. I don't know if anybody's ever played that, right? It's just like the cover art looks quite good, but the game itself is just like the fucking worst. And it was good in there. I actually think I got Zamzora in there though as well. Zamzora's a good game. I think that was on budget. I think I got that from in there, but I can't ever remember myself having a hit squad. I think I was more in the Mastertronic games.
I think I might have gotten Zamzora on a cover disc.
Yeah,
sorry, a cover tape.
It was on the cover of
Was
one
it
of
Commodore
those.
format?
It was on one of them, I think.
that would have been the Power
I'm
Pack.
looking behind us
tapes,
if
wouldn't
I've got all the zaps, but you've got them all.
it? Yeah.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I'm looking behind us if I've got all the zaps, but I haven't got all the zaps. You've got them all. I've only got a few.
I have got a couple. I've got every Commodore format. I have got to be one of them. I'm collecting the tapes now, trying to finish that one. The tapes are harder to find sometimes.
I was definitely more into Mastertronic. Like I remember, like Kickstart 2, and that. I might look at collecting Mastertronic instead.
Why don't you just collect the games that you remember buying?
Yeah,
Just that would be.
I'd
that
only
would
have
be weird.
I'll tell you
5 games, Paul.
one of the worst ones would be the kicks. I reckon that would be a long collection to get.
I remember Ace of Aces. That was brilliant on the kicks. I had that as a budget game where you shoot down
Bionic
like
Commando.
V2 bombs.
Is that Accolade? Ace of Aces? I think it was, wasn't it? Was that originally Accolade? Ace of
The
Aces.
American. I think it was an American game because it was like a US Gold, wasn't it? Like Kicks was their budget version.
Yeah, I
of
think
US
it was released under two things, wasn't it? I think it was released under US Gold and Accolade. I thought it was.
But
Yeah.
some
Accolade, Kicks in US Gold, Sega.
But you actually helped me find one of them because I described it to you, and it was Panther. I remember buying Panther. That was
that.
Yeah, what a game! And
That was a tank game, wasn't it?
No, it's like a hovercraft.
It was a hovercraft. Oh, okay.
Music's mint in there as well.
But it's like isometric. It's a bit like Blue
Yeah.
Max, but this like little hovercraft thing, and just such a good game. And another one was Rad Ramp Racer. I remember buying that, and I was so excited because you could be on like a skateboard or a BMX, and you could build your own courses. And
I remember that.
I used to spend so much time playing that. It
Side
didn't
scrolling,
really
yeah?
read very good. Yeah, that's right. And it was like
remember that.
2 player, so you could like go up against your mate or against.
That's
computer.
right. I remember that. Yeah, it was a good
It was a
game.
good game, but it didn't get rated that well. But it's just one of them, like, because you played it as a kid, you want it back. So, like, when it comes to games like that, like, I've got Blue Max, like Eagle's Nest, Platoon, like, all of the games that I loved as a kid, I bought them, like Impossible Mission, all of them. I ended up buying them all back.
Yeah.
I think what Scott says there is right about the hit squads and all. Do you know, I hear you talking about them all the time, and then you're saying stuff about like fucking Lethal Weapon being like 700 quids and like never ever coming up and stuff like that. And you just think, what's the point? What's the point in trying to collect something you're never ever going to?
Do you know the worst part? I had that as a kid. I know for a fact I had that. That's the worst part.
I would say, in case you see it on eBay for 11 quid.
Yeah. Is that what you did?
Well, it was 15, and I sent him an offer of 11, I think.
You got it.
Cheek of it, eh? Cheek of it.
It was right at the beginning. I didn't know how rare it was. I had absolutely no idea. But I didn't want to go over 10 quid for a game.
I have one word for you. Bastard.
Got to you, Paul, by the way.
I just think that's funny. 15 quid for a game that's, hundreds of pounds. Can I have it for 11? That's funny.
Or it might have been 12. I can't remember, but it was. He accepted my offer, and I was buzzing about that. But yeah, it wasn't until like well later, like when I thought about actually doing the collection that I realised.
Rach, you're saying about Dizzy's here. That was oh shit, what was the name of him? Codemasters, yeah. What? I went blank then. Yeah, Codemasters.
Oh, I used to love them games, and I had quite a few of them as a kid. But
yeah. They used to do like BMX simulator and everything was simulator, wasn't it?
Ski simulator.
Yeah.
SAS simulator.
Oh yeah, everything. It was all simulator, wasn't it? Yeah. I'd say probably half of the collection must have been simulator.
Probably was, yeah. But I used to buy a game because I loved Codemasters games, and I'd buy it thinking it's bound to be good. But then I got that game Transmuter. Oh my god, that was a pile of shit. It gives me a headache thinking about it.
When you think about Codemasters, like, but when you think about that, I was just thinking there. They started on the 8-bit, they went to 16-bit, and then they got the PlayStation as well, didn't they? Like, there's not many.
Yeah.
Like, there can't be many software houses that made that transition.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe Sensible, maybe, because they'd done like Whizball and Micro Soccer, and then obviously they've done Sensible Soccer Cannon for them, and then they've done another Sensible Soccer on the PS1, which might have been in PS2, but was atrocious.
I've just got to point out Scott's comment here. YouTube Gold seeing Dave complete his hit squad. Yeah, I should mention that because that was thanks to Si, wasn't it? Ginger Hippie Gaming.
Well, he took a photo, didn't he, and put it in the group, and I was like, Si, that's
right. It was you that remembered, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was like, that game there, out of all of them, I went, that's worth 500 quid. I went, it's the rarest hit squad on Amstrad. I spotted it immediately. And
what game was this?
Castle Master. For the
so
Spectrum.
That's another one what cost 40
for the Spectrum. For the Spectrum, yeah.
It's about a 40 quid game on the 64.
Shit.
Yeah, it's not as dear on the C64. But Paul remembered that Dave needed it. And so Si got in touch with Dave, and Dave ended up completing his collection. And
I made a deal with Dave about a year and a half ago, and I was like, mate, because I was collecting for the Spectrum, and I was like, if I see Castle Master, I went, I'll pass and let you get it. Like, I'll put you in touch with whoever's got it. And he was I remembered saying that, and as soon as I said it, I was like, Si, like, there's one person like I'd love you to offer it to if you can. And it all come together. So I was buzzing, like proper buzzing for Dave.
It was a nice video as well. He was proper made up, wasn't he? You could tell in that video. Yeah.
It was brilliant to see. I was over the moon. I was genuine because I'd watched him from the beginning all the way through, and to even though I didn't really do anything, but just to have that little bit of from to complete it, I was just. It was I was buzzing. I was buzzing for him.
Right, are you guys all right for like another 10-15 minutes?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah? I want to go into Homebrew if we're all right to do that quick, because I just want to show this game I got. Let's stick that up there. And yes.
Did you notice I checked how much beer I had left before I said, yeah, I'm fine.
The witch, actually.
I've run out of beer now, and I only brought two big bottles in.
So what I wanted to show was this. Don't know how well you can see that. So I don't know if Si's still in the chat, but basically Si put me onto this. This is for the Specky. I'm trying to think of what's the quickest way to explain it. Right, so the guys that did this game, they brought out a game called Forward to the Past, and it was on Phoenixware. And let's just say Phoenixware is like an offshoot of Bitmapsoft, and it wouldn't be a stream if we didn't mention them in one form or another. But it would have. I don't want to speak for the guy, but I get the impression that he might have got a bit fed up with the fact that he wasn't being represented too well. So he brought this out, which is a collection of 4 of their games. And one of them is Forward to the Past. If you're wondering, in fact, why am I doing this? Put me on solo screen. You'll be able to see it properly then, won't you? So he only had a few left, and Si went, here, quick, guys. He's only got a couple left. So I got on there and messaged the guy, and I managed to get one. So it's a collection of 4 games. Cost me £12.50. So you got Mega Manic, Mulholland, and then a bonus game. And then you turn it over. Notice it's a 2-toned tape as well.
Yeah, that's
Man
cool,
with a golden joystick and the bonus game, and it's Slony Soft. I like that. It's cool, doesn't it? Like 2 different colours. I think that's smart. And then I didn't notice this until a couple of days later. I took the inlay out. I'll show you the inlay quick before I get to the next bit. You can see the old Spectrum car. What was it called? The C2, was it, or whatever?
C5.
C5. And then you got the inside. And I didn't notice until a couple of days after that he put a nice little card in, and on the back's a little message.
Oh, nice.
Long live the Specky. Yeah, and then their names. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't notice that straight away. He put that in there. So, yeah, really nice of him. And I haven't played him yet, but I've seen Si play Forward to the Past or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
and
seen him play a few, didn't he, on the video?
I wanted that for a while, but I just didn't want to take the risk of giving Bitmapsoft, or in this case Phoenixware, same thing. I didn't want to risk giving them my money and then the game not arriving, because we know that's what happens. So, yeah, it was nice. When I found that out, I was like, oh, how many's he got left? So, So I put me onto the guy. I got in contact and I paid for it there and then. So, yeah. So I'll have to do some videos on them. But if anyone's wondering what that game looks like I say, go over to Ginger Hippie Gaming. He's done a review on that game.
Look at them, Scott's message. I cannot remember that at all. I managed to drink 3 bottles of wine that night, and Scott says I was like just normal, but like I can't remember anything. I just remember waking up the next morning like, wow, how did I get here?
You're not saying that he loaded this up on that night. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, and apparently we played it, but I can't remember any of that.
Scott, did you get a little card in your one as well, just out of curiosity?
God, must have been smashed, man.
You must have been. 3 bottles of red wine. I mean, you're going to be, aren't you? Right. What's this? 10 pints of wine.
That's got to be 4 pints of wine. Do you reckon 3 bottles? 4 pints?
I don't know. I'd say it's probably more than that, isn't it? I don't know.
All 4.
There you go. Yeah. Look at this, lightweight. I'll tell you that is quite a bit. I mean, I remember when I was early 20s, I remember drinking 2 bottles of red wine to myself, and I was doing security then, right? This was the worst part. I had to go to work. It was a Saturday, and walk around like a Primark doing security. And mate, the longest shift I ever did. And I remember finishing work and just upchucking it. It was bright red. Mate, it was bad.
Well, when I got up the next morning, I wasn't hungover at all, purely down to the fact that I was still drunk. And me, Pedro, and Mark, we walked around to the shop, and honestly, it was just such an epic journey. It was like a little road trip that we'd done, like to the shop and back, and it was just made my weekend. It really did. It was brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That is the fact that he loaded them up.
3 bottles of wine's like the equivalent of nearly 4 pints. 12 pints of
what?
beer.
No,
that's what it says. No, well, it says it's the equivalent of 12 pints.
There you go. See, yeah, that's a lot. Mate.
That's a lot.
Yeah, bloody Yalky.
I don't think I'll do that again anytime soon.
I can't drink wine.
Oh, I've just seen what you put here, Rach. You did a game review pissed once. You was mortified the next day when you realised.
Yeah.
Come on, then, let's hear it.
I deleted it. I was absolutely mortified.
Oh, no, you should have kept it.
Them's the best ones.
You should have kept it. Have you still got it? Like, have you got it on a computer or anything?
She has.
She has, isn't she?
You can tell.
Yes.
Oh, you got to put it back up, Rach. That would be hilarious.
I can't even remember what game it was, but I just forgot that I was recording. And I started off going, oh yeah, graphics, and then it was like, and I was like, oh god. The next day I was like,
I've seen loads
no
of
way.
drunk streams, and them's the ones I always remember.
Do you know, Christmas rock and roller? Someone dared him on a live stream to down a bottle of Jack Daniels, I think it was.
Oh god!
Oh mate, he flaked in the middle of the stream, and I remember they dropped his camera out, but everyone kept saying in the chat like to Big Game Al, you've got to keep checking on him. So he keep bringing the camera up to make sure he's all right, because they were all worried he was going to choke or something,
See,
that
that must be nice.
He was sick on the floor, wasn't he?
So Kim Justice, she was having a shot every time that she died on a game, and she collapsed off her chair and just went to sleep for like 4 hours of streaming on Twitch, and you could hear her snoring on the floor.
Oh.
She nearly took a whole game's the shelves behind when she fell into them nearly come over on her.
Oh man,
you could hear her phone just ringing over and over again because I think it was Sophie trying to ring her.
What was she drinking?
Shots. Shots of meth.
I remember a mate of mine, right? His dad was an ex-sergeant in the army, right? And he had a bottle of pochin, and they were playing cards, and basically every time you lost, you had to have a shot.
Right, for us Northerners, what is pochin? What the hell's that?
It's really strong. Like I forget how much proof it is, but it's like it's north of 50. Like it's really strong, and it's made from potatoes. And basically, long story
Potatoes,
short,
yeah.
Moonshine. Then.
yeah, basically, a long story short, my mate passed out and
It's like
swallowed his
potato
tongue.
vodka, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, he passed out, swallowed his tongue, and I had to call an ambulance. Yeah, I wish we had camera phones back then. Imagine YouTubers around them. Videos I could have done. This is my mate who drunk potching and swallowed his tongue. What a dickhead! Like, yeah. You think like when I see some of these kids what they do on YouTube and that, I think, man, we did better stuff than that back in the day. I wish I had a camera phone back then.
Yeah, thank God there were no camera phones, eh?
Well, yeah, we'd all get arrested.
This is the game I'm hoping that I've bought, but I'm still waiting to hear from the lad if I've managed to get it. But this was on Facebook today.
Hang on, let me put you on solo.
Money Races. So
Okay.
that's a Pro Division game, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. So it's it looks really really good.
It is good.
But yeah, it is. But like I've only like got a digital copy, so.
And what's that for?
Yeah, the Commodore 64.
Oh, okay.
It's like skid marks, isn't it? Like a little bit like that, I think, for the Commodore 64. The tracks start out quite basic, but it gets good like further on. It does. There's a lot of brown, but there is some wood. So
it's called Money Racers, yeah.
Exactly. Aye,
yeah.
Fair one.
Yeah. Be a bit odd if it was all green, wouldn't it? It's incredible, mate. Seen some footage, yep.
So that's my homebrew
box art.
shenanigans.
Anyone else got any new homebrew?
I get sent a lot of homebrew to like test stuff. I'm in like an Amiga group with, Graham Cowie. So
Aye.
I was supposed to do like a video at the start of the year where I was going to do like all the new Amiga games, but I only got like a few. But I've gotten a few since then. I'll just talk about the ones what's coming out for the Amiga. There's absolutely nations of games coming out for the Amiga. Like the new RoboCop. I don't know if anybody's seen that, which is just like looks exactly the same as the arcade. Vastan looks mint.
But are these going to get any physical releases, or they're all going to be digital?
I don't know. I think the likes of I don't know if you know Hoffman, DJ Hoffman. He's just done Sessanoid.
Is that the guy who does the meetup thing, the AGA or something? Was it or?
No, that was. Oh, that
was Rav or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Rav.
he's not Graham's fan, is he?
No.
But Hoffman is. And Nivrig, they're doing games, and I don't know if they do physical ones. Like I know what Graham did, he's done all his on physical, but maybe they will. I don't know. But there's a lot of Amiga games coming out. Like
thing is, though, I mean, like I've got an Amiga, but I've got a GoTech in it. I mean,
yeah, that's how
most people have, because the media's just unreliable, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Graham offered me when I promoted these Devil's Temple and that, he was getting, I'll give you some games. And I says, you know what? Number one, I didn't collect them anywhere, right? So it'd be wasted on us. And I've only got an A500 and all is at AGA. So yeah, I would be here for no reason. And
yeah, you need an Amiga Mini, mate. You can play AGA on there.
I've got an Amiga Mini, right?
You got one.
What did I get for? I got for Christmas. It's nenever been out of the box.
You're joking.
You need to get it out of the box, and then you can play AGA on there.
Well, I actually said, right, I actually slated it, right? So I can play AGA on FSUAE on my computer, right?
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I absolutely slated it, and I wanted like a 1200. And I thought, my son's working at my place now. He's got nations of money. He never ever spends it on out. And that's what they bought us. But I damn it, idiots. Hope we're not watching all of it. It's the best.
How about you, Rach? You picked any homebrew up lately?
I haven't really. I've not bought much of anything. Downloaded a couple of bits off itch.io. One called Black Sea. I think that's what it's called. And that's all right. I've not played it much. And the other one was Sorcerers. That's a bit of a puzzle game. Not played that one. I've seen other people play it. That looks quite good.
What was the one
That's
you
a
did
puzzle.
on a video recently, which is like it's got sorcerers in it? I saw a video recently you did. What was that?
I can't remember. When you say recently, my last video was about 4 months ago.
Yeah, it was one of your last videos. That's what I should have said. One of your last ones. Yeah, it was. You had like magicians or sorcerers on the. I forget what it was.
So have I. Can't remember.
No way. I wondered if it was that. That's why I was wondering.
It wasn't that. I've not done a video on it. No. Okay. But yeah, I've not bought a lot of Homebrew. I've not looked, to be honest with you, in a while. But I have been playing. Sorry to go back to it, but some of the Dizzy fan games, which are quite good. But
Really?
yeah, they can be quite long. So if you're not a Dizzy fan, they're not for you, really.
So how close are they to like the originals? Like are they, like like what? Like
very close.
Well, yeah, really.
They have, yeah. They've got them for different systems. So they got like the what was the console that it was on? The Super Nintendo, was it on? I don't know, but they have got the Amstrad and Spectrum versions, and yeah, they're really good. To be honest, some are better than the original ones.
Wow, I had no idea they even existed. No idea.
God, there's about 300 games in total on the Yoke Folk site. If you're interested, if you like Dizzy games. Yeah, some of them are very long.
And I know Paul loves Dizzy, so yeah, that'd be top 10 for you to do, mate.
So I've already done it. So
no, did it include them?
Yeah,
I know you did one.
I did like with top 10 Dizzy games, but then 25 Clansman, who's in chat there, he helped us worse because like I'm clueless. I played like a couple. They're not my favorite games. They're not. I don't hate them. I just
all right.
Well, I mean, I bought the Oliver Twins cartridge for the Evercade, not because I like the games, because at that stage I was collecting them all. But that's going. Like I've got no. It's still sealed. I ain't even opened it. I've got no intentions of playing it. Never did. Yeah.
Rachel's
video was The Apprentice. What she did, I think that might have been the one.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
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 Yeah, because I remember looking at that and I thought, is that an old game or is that a new one? Like,
yeah, that was an old game. That was a really good game. I loved that as a kid.
It looked good, like
it was
for
a
an old game.
one.
Yeah, the colours and that look really good on it. Which is why I wondered at the time.
Didn't help that I didn't have the
Go on.
I didn't have the instruction booklet at the time, so like I've only literally 40 years later realised exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I wonder I never got far in it.
To be fair, I think we've all had that in the past, haven't we? Like,
I wonder how many games people didn't give it like a proper chance because they didn't read the instructions.
Well, I mean, like Amiga, Whizball, yeah, definitely, that was me. I hated Whizball. But I mean, the Amiga, most of my games were copied, so most of them didn't have the instructions.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you're like, what am I supposed to do? Syndicate. I remember playing Syndicate, not having a clue what you was meant to do.
Can you imagine playing the flight simulators on an Amiga with no instructions?
Oh, I didn't have to imagine.
Just mashing the keys.
That happened.
Oh, I'm moving.
But it was like for Gunship 2000. Had to work out like what buttons did what. Like,
mate, yeah, you needed a layout, didn't you, for the keyboard? Yeah,
that was you had to write it down anyway.
Oh, you'd be screwed with that, yeah.
Yeah.
They've done loads of banger games. Yes, they did. Yeah, absolutely. What game is considered the best from Sam's Journey and A Pig Quest? Oh, okay. Does anybody know? Because I haven't played Pig Quest, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I'm actually doing a video on this now, right? For Protovision Games, so. But I would say Sam's Journey.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Well, that's going to be my top anyway. Pig's Quest will probably be second. Pig's Quest good, but I don't know, something about Sam's Journey. It makes you feel like you're playing on an NES or something. It's that good. It doesn't.
It's
look
coming
like
out
a
on the
C64
NES.
game.
isn't it? If I remember right.
Well,
Yes,
it'll
September.
probably look exactly the same.
It is that I've been speaking to people who made it, and it's a direct port.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Right. Okay. On that note, I think we'll start wrapping up. I'm just going to go through these last comments. A lot of new ones have had states built in, so you don't have to play the whole thing. Oh, that's you, Rach. Sorry, I didn't realise that was you then. Games like Frontier were a nightmare getting on the Yuki without the star map.
Frontier League 2 without controls. Oh my god, that was just a disaster. Even now with the controls, it's still a nightmare to play.
30th coin was a sod to find though. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. We're going to leave it there then, I think, guys. Hang on. Let's just get rid of that. And then we're going to do our dodgy game show wave before we close this out. And I just want to say thanks, guys, for coming on. And thanks for everyone in the chat. It's been really good. Like, everyone's been talking loads. I really enjoyed tonight. So see you later, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Hang on. Where
Bye.
is it? There it is.